It is an intense rivalry that has endured more than 100 years. Today, the tradition continues in a game that is being touted as a defensive showdown. DePauw must stop Wabash's potent passing attack, while the Little Giants must contain the Tigers' explosive running game. At stake, the Monon Bell. And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to BLACKSTOCK Stadium here in Greencastle, Indiana. It is a blustery, cold day as DePauw and Wabash prepare to play the 101st year of the Monon Bell. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kevin Eskew, joined today by a former member of DePauw's coaching staff and the current athletic director here at DePauw, Coach Ted Katula. Coach, this is a game that you have been involved with for several years now. You've been in the locker rooms. You've been on the field when these guys are getting prepared. What types of thoughts are going through their minds right now?
Well, these guys are uptight. The fans are uptight. I'm uptight. Let's face it, we're playing for the national championship out here today as far as Wabash and DePauw is concerned, and we're playing for a lifetime of memories. We're playing for some memories that I hope will be favorable for DePauw at the end of this game. Also joining us down on the field is Baier, and let's go down on the field to hear from Bret.
Thanks, Coach. Preparation for today's game began Monday for both teams. The Monon Bell week stands out more than any other week of practice. DePauw's seniors took their last lap on Thursday, and today before their game they'll give their last motivational speech to try and fire up the Tigers. Emotions will be high here on the sidelines as well as the stands. Let's go to Sidra, Arnold.
Thanks, Bret. I'll be in the stands today with DePauw's fired up fans and alumni. The Monon Bell game always brings out record crowds to BLACKSTOCK Stadium. It's sure to be a good time today. Back to you, Kevin.
The season for the DePauw Tigers has been one filled with many ups and downs. After losing the first two games this season, the Tigers have put themselves in contention to defend the Monon Bell for a record 5th straight year. When the 1991 football season began, the DePauw Tigers had high hopes. With an Indiana Collegiate Athletic Conference title under their belt from the previous year, it was to be another season of fulfilled dreams and goals reached. They had practiced long hours, been drilled for what must have seemed like countless times, and been instilled with the teachings of the coaching staff bent on attaining the ultimate goal, the Monon Bell. The season debut for the highly touted Tigers was on a sweltering hot day in September when Hope College visited BLACKSTOCK Stadium. DePauw's defense was in form, but not enough to hold off a sharp and prepared Hope team that handed DePauw an opening day loss, 23-14. Game 2 saw a much improved effort defensively from the Tigers, as the Ohio Wesleyan battling Bishops were held in check for much of the game. Despite moments of impressive play from the receivers, DePauw's offense was never consistent as it committed 6 turnovers on the game. Ohio Wesleyan won 21-15, leaving DePauw winless at 0-2. After a win against Millsaps College, the Tigers traveled back to Hoosier for an ICAC showdown with Rose-Hulman. The Tiger defense was again in top form as they punished the Engineers, holding them to just 6 points. With impressive offensive performances from Terry Dickey, Jason Stadler, and quarterback Brian Goodman, the Tigers rolled over Rose-Hulman 36-6. Next up for DePauw was Taylor, which featured an offense capable of scoring big points. But offensively, it was DePauw's Terry Dickey who broke loose for 245 all-purpose yards, including this 73-yard run.
He's going to go all the way to the 25 to the 20. He's going to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Tigers!
After an Old Gold Day victory over Manchester, the Tigers traveled to muddy Anderson, where a battle of the trenches was surely in store. Despite the extremities of the weather inhibiting the play of the game, the Tigers led 6-0 going into the fourth quarter, but they were robbed of the lead with a last-minute Anderson touchdown. It would take nothing short of a miracle for DePauw to sneak out as winners of this contest. Their prayers were answered as the Hail Mary was completed and the Tigers rolled on. With a 12-7 victory packed tightly under their belts, the Tigers marched into a defensive struggle with Franklin. Highlighting the game for the Tigers was not 1, not 2, but the 8 quarterback sacks by the DePauw defense that helped them to a 9-0 win. Last week, the Tigers returned home to take on the Hanover Panthers. A victory would wrap up the ICAC championship for DePauw, but things would not come so easily for the Tigers as Hanover was armed with a potent offense led by quarterback Paul Gray. He threw for an astounding 418 yards and 4 touchdowns. The Tigers came home only to be handed a 37-31 loss. This afternoon, it's become more than a game and more than a rivalry. It's pride and honor that are at stake as DePauw and Wabash go head-to-head for the 98th meeting of the annual Fall Football Classic. The season for the Wabash College Little Giants has been one that has started out with a loss, but since that time, Wabash has looked very tough. They've rolled through the season. They've only had one blemish on the record since that opening week, and now they are very hungry to get the Monon Bell back in Crawfordsville. Wabash College has always prided its football program on a strong, sound defense. By punishing the opposition on a weekly basis, the Little Giants have fought their way to a 6-2 record and pose a stiff test for DePauw. This season, the Wabash coaching staff has assembled an offense that features a passing attack capable of high-scoring outputs. Leading the Wabash offense is quarterback Bill Padgett, who, along with a powerful running tandem in the backfield, is looking to finish his career with a Monon Bell victory.
This is a game that has seen many heroes throughout the years, and one of those biggest heroes that has ever played for the DePauw University Tigers is Fred Tucker. Coach?
Fred Tucker, a 1908 graduate of DePauw University, a bona fide All-American football player here at DePauw University, a great student and a great loyal supporter through the years of DePauw University. Tucker was captain of the football and baseball teams during his senior year, but it was in football that he excelled. He earned all-state honors and honorable mention All-America following the 1907 season. The Indianapolis Star said Tucker had experience, knowledge of the game, kicking ability, and unlimited nerve. Tucker proved this during his senior year when he scored a touchdown by the then unusual method of receiving a forward pass. He also kicked a 35-yard field goal without a tee or a holder, long before soccer-style kicks. In 1918, he founded the F.C. Tucker Company, which is now Indiana's largest real estate and development company. But Tucker never forgot his alma mater. He was a staunch supporter of DePauw and became a member of the Board of Trustees of the university in 1945. He was an active alumnus until he died at age 70 in 1958.
I'm here with Fred Tucker's son, Bud Tucker. Bud, tell us how it feels to be here today.
This is a great honor and pleasure for our entire family. Ermagine and I appreciate this legendary happening today in memory of my dad. We have our son, daughter, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, and 3 grandchildren here. My father would have been very pleased and somewhat astounded at a recognition like this, but he was a legendary athlete at DePauw. He won 11 major letters and was captain of all of his teams in his senior year. It's a lot of fun. Best wishes to all the DePauw people throughout the nation.
Okay, thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you very much, Sidra. You know, Terry Dickey and Rob Boris are 2 of DePauw's most accomplished football players, and Coach, both seniors were chosen as preseason All-Americans by College Football Preview magazine. Dickey holds DePauw's all-time career and single-season records for all-purpose yardage, while Boris received DePauw's prestigious Ken Holland Memorial Award as a junior. They're both successful both on and off the field.
As far as priority setting, if I have being a history major, having a history exam, and also have a big game, I have to take care of my education first, and then football will come second.
We're here for academics, and we're here for football, and it's in that order. You know, so very often if a player has a lab, or if I have a 10-page paper due for political science, it's not get to practice first and then pull an all-nighter. You know, it's not uncommon for a player to miss 1 or 2 practices a week if he's really got a tough schedule ahead of him.
I see us as the biggest fraternity on campus, as a big family. And those things are more important to me and not just stats or what's written down on paper or the notoriety, things of that nature. I play football because I love the sport.
You know, like I've said, I've been in the locker room 3 times with seniors, never really thinking what I would say myself, never really knowing what it's going to be like today when at 4:30, 5 o'clock when the game's over and my football career is over. I just hope, that it all goes well, not meaning, win or loss. I hope that everybody realizes and comes together as a unit.
There's no other chance for me to come back and say, look, I didn't quite give it all I had, or I regret that play. And for those reasons, I know I'm going to try give 110% on each play, as will all the other seniors. And I'm very confident in our team and in our coaches that we will prevail in the end.
1, 2, 3.
Coach, we're back up in the booth now. The Tigers are 6-3 on the season. The Little Giants are 6-2. Both season records in the ICAC are 4-1, and that makes this game even that much more important. It's the Monon Bell game, but Coach, it's also the ICAC championship. How much more do you think that adds to this football game?
Well, we want the Indiana Collegiate ICAC championship, of course, but really what we really want is the Monon Bell, and Wabash wants it back. We've held it for 4 years, and I'll be darned if we want to give it back to them. So it's a very intense game, and I believe that the primary goal here today is to win this bell.
Coach, we just saw a piece there on Terry Dickey and also Rob Boris. Those two individuals really typify everything about what a DePauw student-athlete is all about. Can you in any way describe how much of an influence those two players have had on DePauw's football program over the last 4 years?
Well, first of all, Terry Dickey, in my 32 years here at DePauw University, is the finest all-around running back I've ever seen here. He's got great quickness, great speed, great pass receiver, punt returner, kick returner, and by the way, a very good passer. Rob Boris has anchored this line for about 3 years, and DePauw University has one of the greatest running games I've seen since I've been here in 3 years. I think today it's going to determine whether we win or lose would be how that offensive line moves.
The captains are now meeting on the field. The toss, I believe, has been won by the Wabash Little Giants. The captains for the Tigers, Rob Boris and also Matt Nelson. I believe that Wabash is going to defer and give the ball to the Tigers, as they will be receiving to start out the football game and defending the south goal. We're now going to go ahead over. I believe we're ready for the defensive introductions for the DePauw Tigers, and also their seniors will be introduced as well. Being introduced for the DePauw Tigers are our seniors. You see Greg Jacobs going out there. He's one of the very strong members of that defensive line. Also Tyler Gilbreth going through. Tom Beaulieu now running through the line. He is an incredible senior coach, and we'll talk about him in just a little bit more. Judge Fisher, an outstanding player for all of his 4 years here at DePauw University. Mark Hudson, a player who really saw not very much playing time, but this year he's come on real strong and could be a factor in today's football game. And the final member of the senior class that's graduating after this year, Al Hackbarth, now being introduced. He has not played now for the last 4 weeks. He's been out since the Rose-Hulman game with a knee injury. And Coach, if you talk about those seniors, a couple of defensemen come to mind. Matt Nelson, who's a linebacker, and Tom Beaulieu as a part of the Management Fellows program. Nelson did an internship at Goldman Sachs, while Beaulieu worked at Eli Lilly. This year, both were named GTE Academic All-Americans.
When we start the season off, we have a number of goals. And one of our top 5 goals is always to keep the bell and beat Wabash.
I think success, no matter what your field or no matter what, if it's an academic discipline or athletic discipline or a career, it's just going to come through hard work.
Being an academic All-American is a great honor. I wanted to come and get a good education. I wanted to come and be successful at football. And by getting this award, it really means that I have been able to do both of those things that I set out to do and do them very well.
I was honored to be named Academic All-American, and so it's a nice, kind of icing on the cake after the season's over, especially after the kind of year we had last year as a team.
We're out there because we really like to play the game, and it's a lot of fun. I think that we would miss it if we didn't play. And that's one of the things that it's kind of sad at the end of the season, because you know that you're going to be playing your last game with these guys that you've been around with and developed all these friendships with over the past 4 years, and you know that this is the end of the road.
You get inside that locker room right before the game, and helmets come off, and the breathing kind of starts getting heavy, and there's so much emotion in the room that, as people have said before, you really can't feel it. It's kind of a combination of tension and sadness, and also anxious to get out on the field.
Coach, we're about ready for the opening kickoff between these two football teams. Tigers have deferred and will receive the opening kickoff. What do you think they have in mind for their opening drive?
Well, I think they're going to open up with the Jason Stadler fullback with power sweep with Terry Dickey. But Kevin, as we look out there right now, the kickoff, Kevin, this is what it's all about.
Terry Dickey is deep along with Aaron Marks. Dickey only needs 75 yards to break the all-time kickoff return mark here at DePauw. Marks takes the opening kickoff right around the 17-yard line, fights it up the left sideline, and brings the ball to the 33-yard line. And very quickly, a flag is thrown on the play.
Kevin, these are some of the things you have to be careful about. I mean, early on in the game, we have a 15-yarder right now, and DePauw University is going to receive a penalty here, and we're going to start deep on our 20-yard line, somewhere in our neighborhood of our 20-yard line, instead of having good field position at the 35.
The officials are not going to take any flack from either one of these two teams. They know this is a very intense football game, and they're setting the tone very early on, as now the Tigers will have to start pretty deep in their own territory after a pretty good kickoff return by Aaron Marks. As we look at a few of the offensive personnel for the Tigers in the backfield, you see Brian Goodman, Jason Stadler, and Terry Dickey. Very important today for Brian Goodman to perform. He is the quarterback of this football team. He's struggled at times throughout the season, and his play today is something that I think we're going to have to keep our eyes on all day.
Brian hadn't been very consistent this year, but he's had some great games, and we hope today that he takes these plays that Nick sends in, some of these plays that are not going to be very deep passes, little short passes. Just do his job. Don't lose the game. That's what he has to do.
Steve Broderick lines up split on the far right side in an I formation behind Goodman to start out the football game. Is Terry Dickey. In front of him is Jason Stadler. You see Brian Goodman underneath the quarterback, underneath the center. Dickey takes the snap is taken and given to Jason Stadler. He goes off left tackle and fights his way for maybe 3 yards at best. Gets about up to the 20-yard line. So the Tigers go with a running play very early, trying to establish that ground game.
Yeah, as Coach Morosa said, he's going to start off with Brian Stadler running that first play, and you can see there was a mix-up in the backfield. There was a bad handoff, but I think we're going to see Terry Dickey run a power sweep right now. And see where we go. 2nd
down and 7 as Goodman brings the ball up to the line of scrimmage. Mark Hudson split wide to the right-hand side. Stadler is on the left. Terry Dickey is by himself in the backfield. Stadler lined up in a slot formation. Here comes Dickey on the sweep. Fights around the right side. He breaks loose. He crosses the 30-yard line down to the 35 where he's pushed out of bounds. First down for the Tigers. And right off the bat, Terry Dickey establishes that he is going to do a lot of good things for the Tigers today as he again has success against the Wabash Little Giants.
DePauw's flanker back came right back in and cracked back on that Wabash linebacker, and really it took about 2 players out of it. Not only the linebacker, but I think he took out the strong safety, and Terry picked that seam in the way he's going.
Terry Dickey in his career against the Monon Bell against Wabash averages 6.5 yards per carry. He has always had success against Wabash. He's in the backfield again as he now goes in motion and lines up in the slot position right side. Goodman under center, hands the ball to Stadler. He fights up the middle, bounces off a few tacklers, and gets up to the 43.
Kevin, that Jason is a horse. He picked that play. It was obviously supposed to go a little to the right, but he saw the middle linebacker move, and Jason just cut it back right up there for about 5 yards. If we can continue to do this, we're going to be in pretty good shape, because I think Goodman's going to be able to throw a few play-action passes as the game goes on.
This entire drive is very important for the confidence of the Tigers as a whole. If they can establish the running game early, that gives Goodman a lot of time where he can have a lot more confidence back there to know that his running game can back him up. Here's a sweep around the left side. Dickey takes the ball, crosses, almost gets to the 45-yard line where he's wrestled out of bounds. A nice tackle on the play by Mike Warren. He's a defensive back for Wabash, number 2. He's very tough and is a possible Indiana Collegiate Athletic Conference all-conference selection, possibly. Terry Dickey, as you see on the season, has had a very good one as he is having another stellar year for the Tigers. He's a great all-purpose yards runner. He's only coming into the football game. He was only 35 yards short of last year's all-purpose yardage mark of 1,486 yards. So he does a little bit more than just running. He's an incredible all-purpose athlete. Stadler by himself in the backfield, takes the snap and runs up the middle, gets big yardage, easy first down for the Tigers, and moves into Wabash territory, bringing the ball down to the Wabash 41-yard line. An incredible run up the middle by Stadler, and more importantly, you really have to focus on the offensive line, coaches. They just opened up a huge hole for Jason.
The offensive line has been doing a great job all year, and considering that DePauw has not been mounting much of a passing game, now you can see we're flanking Terry Dickey out here to the left, which means that inside of that line is going to be vulnerable for Wabash.
Goodman again under center, first down and 10, the ball at the Wabash 41. Goodman gives it to Stadler. He again fights up the middle, maybe picks up 3, maybe 4 yards. Another good run up the middle. We've seen all running plays from the start of this football game. Brian Goodman has yet to put the ball up in the air. He has got some capable receivers, but I think Coach Morosis is looking to establish that ground game early.
I think DePauw University is just going to keep running this ball until Wabash stops. I mean, it's not going to be one of these things where we're going to deviate. At least I hope not.
Wabash must prove that they can stop the run, or else the Tigers may do it all day long. Goodman under center. He's yet to throw a pass. There's 2 men in the backfield. That's Stadler at the fullback. Tailback is Terry Dickey. He takes the snap. At the 39-yard line, runs the sweep around the left-hand side over to the 35-yard line. That ball, I think that was initially supposed to be off left tackle, but Dickey had to improvise a little bit. Goes around the left side, picked up maybe a couple of yards.
Terry has that ability to take that handoff, and when there's nothing up the middle, Terry just moves and works to the outside. You can see it's all on his own. He picks up about 4 yards just on his own. Great run. Look for Stadler to go up the middle at this time.
Brought down on that play by Bill Kepler. Wabash's defense is tough, but the Tigers' offense has been tougher here in the early going. Stadler takes the ball up the middle. He drives down to the 27-yard line. There's a fumble on the play. Wabash says they have it. The ball's the 30-yard line. The officials are going to get in there and check things out. Stadler had worked his way forward for about a 6-yard gain. DePauw says they have it. Wabash says they have it. We'll check the replay.
Jason picks up the 1st and 10. You can see as he's moving, they pull the ball out. You can see, you can't tell right now.
I think that Terry Dickey may have gotten on top of that
1st and 10.
It's hard to tell, but they say the Tigers get it anyway. So it's a 1st down and 10. Heads up play by the Tigers to get on top of that fumble. Tigers get it lucky here early, but it's still 1st down and 10, so the Tigers end up with the ball anyway. Ball's on the Wabash 30-yard line. This is the 8th play of the drive. We've yet to see a pass. The Tigers are mounting up yardage very easily against the Wabash defense.
Look for Terry Dickey to carry this ball.
Dickey in the I formation behind Goodman and also Stadler at the fullback. Dickey takes it. Looks to go right side, runs into a big wall of Wabash tacklers and goes nowhere. He's brought down at the 30-yard line. Immediately there in the backfield for Wabash was Eric Shuttle. He is a very good outside linebacker, and he's got 61 tackles on the season. That time he gets in Dickey's way and makes him change his direction and eventually causes the loss. It's a 2-yard loss, which makes it 2nd down and 12 now for the Tigers.
Well, DePauw's put itself in a bad situation right now because they're going to have to go to the airwaves, and maybe we're going to see some type of pass to Dickey coming out of the backfield, a little short pass or to Jason. Maybe a screen pass.
They're in pass formation. Goodman's under center, 2nd down and 12. He's back to pass. He looks left, nothing there, and throws the ball into the ground. He had nobody open.
It was a screen pass to Jason Stadler, and he didn't have very much time. He was pressured by the Wabash defense.
Goodman, as you see on the season, has only completed 80 passes on 182 attempts, 989 yards. His seasonal average has not been that spectacular. However, he has been able to get the Tigers a series of wins, and now they're in position for the ICAC championship. So that's his first pass of the day. Maybe a few butterflies in there. We'll see what happens this time. Another passing situation as Goodman's going to have to go to the shotgun formation. That last play, Dave Kaufman and Eric Shuttle were all over Brian Goodman. It's a high snap. He looks for someone to throw to, scrambles out of the pocket, throws it over the middle. It's complete to Rob Henry, the tight end. He fights for the 1st down across the 20-yard line, down to the 17 where he's pushed out of bounds. On the tackle was Mike Warren from Wabash, but more importantly, a great pass play.
Goodman needed that play. Goodman needed that play. He takes a bad snap from center, eludes a Wabash defensive lineman, moves to his left, hits that receiver coming across the middle, and believe me, confidence. The name of the game, Goodman's picking some of it up right now.
Goodman now 1 out of 2 on the afternoon as he just had to throw two straight passes after the Tigers had gone to the ground for the first 8 plays of this drive. The Tigers now in the huge threatening position as they moved inside the 20-yard line. It's the red zone. Wabash will have to tighten up their defense. The handoff to Stadler. He tries right side, eludes a couple of tacklers, changes directions, finally brought down after crossing the 10-yard line. On the tackle was Shuttle.
That Jason is a load. He is a load. He is one of the finest running fullbacks I've ever seen here at DePauw University. He just does not like people to bring him down. By the way, his uncle, Jim McCoy, played nose guard back in the early 60s, played on that 59, 60, and 61 teams, is here in the stands watching the game.
The Tigers looking to get in the end zone, and when in games that they have been able to score first, they are 4-1. So that first score of the game is very crucial, not only for the Tigers, but also for Wabash, as I'm sure they would not like to start out this game by being down points. We got a whistle and several flags thrown on the field at this point. 2nd down and 1 was where we are right now. The Tigers are indicating that it's some sort of a foul against Wabash, so that's going to perhaps give the Tigers a first down, and it will, as encroachment against Wabash.
At this time, look for maybe Coach Morosis to put the straight T formation in. That's the full house, and maybe give it the ball to Jason and try to run off tackle. And look for that Wabash defense to really pull up tight. We're going to have probably about 9 men on the line of scrimmage.
Tigers are very effective out of that formation, Coach. They'll put 3 men and they'll line them up abreast in the backfield. They usually will bring in Ron Herman also to join in that 3-man formation in the backfield. We'll see if the Tigers go to it. We see there's still just 2 men in the backfield as Stadler and Dickey come up in an I formation behind Goodman. The Tigers like to run out of this formation. Steve Broderick lined up on the left side. Mark Netherland is in the slot on the right. Goodman under center inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. The handoff goes to Dickey. He fights up the middle. Very close to getting it across the goal line, but I don't think he got it in.
He's down to about the 1-foot line, and I think at this time you're going to see probably Coach Morosis just give that ball to Jason Stadler. In the I formation, just give it to Terry Dickey, and of course Terry wants that touchdown, and he slashes right in there, and the Wabash defense is up to it and stops him about on the 1-foot line.
They're on the 1-foot line. The Tigers are threatening for a touchdown.
It's Stadler.
It's deadlocked at 0-0. We're in the first quarter, 8:36 and counting. Goodman under center. The Tigers looking for the first score of the game. Dickey goes in motion. There's a mess up on the snap. Goodman is going to have to eat it as he's brought down in the backfield. It's a sack. Bringing him down is Gary Groh, as he was right there all over Brian Goodman after the snap was poor.
That was a major mistake. Major mistake. Usually when something like that happens, the quarterback is too anxious and pulls out. He just slips out of his hand and he picks it up. He should have just probably fallen on the ball. This is going to be a very important play. I think what we're going to probably see here is a pass out here in the left flat, somewhere deep in the corner of the end zone.
Looked like Goodman just had that ball slip out of his hands. It was not a problem on the snap. I think Goodman just had problems getting the ball over to Terry Dickey. Goodman back to pass and threw that ball way behind Steve Broderick. He couldn't get there at all. Good pressure by the Wabash defensive line, breaking through and putting the pressure on Brian Goodman. The Tigers are now going to have to try and kick a field goal. Mike Junta is coming in to kick that field goal. On his career, Mike Junta is 7 out of 7 on field goals inside the 30-yard line. But that wind is against him. I will repeat that the wind is north by northeast, and it's coming right in his face, basically, as Mike Junta lines up to kick the field goal. It's going to be a 25 or a 24-yard attempt by Junta. The snap is down, the kick is up, and it hits the upright. No good. So the Tigers, who were knocking on the door on the 1-foot-yard line, could not get the ball in the end zone. And they're stopped where the ball will rest now at the 15-yard line. That's just too bad, as the Tigers have amassed 82 yards. Then they have a mess up in the backfield that costs them back to beyond the 10-yard line. They have to try a field goal, and it does not work.
Field goal is plenty long. Just hit the goal post just right in the center and goes off. That was a big series for DePauw. Two major mistakes, missing that field goal and fumbling that ball. I mean, there's some of the things we're not going to be able to do if we want to win this football game today.
We're going to go down to Bret. Bret Baier is on the sideline. We're going to go ahead and throw it down to Bret on the field.
Thanks, Kevin.
I'll cue you. And we're back up in the booth as we go back to live action. Bob Brady, who's the tailback for the Wabash Little Giants, is the lone setback. He takes the snap, tries left side, and runs into a fierce wall of DePauw tacklers.
Well, I think
we're going to try and now go back down to Bret Baier. Bret is on the sideline. Bret, go ahead.
Thanks, Kevin. After that series, DePauw seems like a little deflated. They came out really fired up. Even though they say it's 55 degrees down here, I think it's a little colder. But here on the sidelines, they're fired up, a little deflated after that last series. Back to you, Coach.
2nd down and 8 is again the snap taken by Bill Padgett, the quarterback. He tries David Kogan this time. Kogan again tries the left-hand side. He can't get anywhere either. So the Little Giants having some problems in the early going, trying to establish their running game. We'll check the defense for the Tigers along the line. You got Jacobs, Beaulieu, Edmonds, and Hackbarth. The linebackers, one of the best linebacking corps in the league is Zimfer. Matt Nelson, you talked about him earlier. John Perry is a very intense individual. And Mike Thomas, the defensive backs, Teach Lewis, Paul Bickle, and Kirk Ayler. They will have to defend against Bill Padgett, who has got a great throwing arm, and he's going to try and put it up this time. Padgett back to throw, throws it over the middle, complete to Eric Snively, and he gets the ball to about the 23-yard line, where he is brought down by a horde of DePauw tacklers, and no first down for Wabash. So the Tiger defense holds true on their first test.
That was a great defense stand by the DePauw Tigers. They needed that. Their defensive confidence is up. But there's a story out here right now. Tony Myers, Coach Myers, the son who coaches for DePauw, he was the punter at Wabash up until this game, and they have a new punter in the game, Clisby. It'll be interesting to see how he's going to do.
Clisby is a punter that Coach Nick Morosis feels like has punts that can be blocked. The punt was not blocked that time, as it's booted down to Terry Dickey, who is standing deep at his own 40-yard line. The ball goes out of bounds, where the Tigers are going to pick it up, 1st down and 10. Tiger offense back out on the field as there's a flag down on the play. We've got, I believe, encroachment against DePauw, which is going to make the Wabash be able to punt the ball a little bit closer to the middle of the field. Is that where there is the penalty? I believe it's going to be against the Tigers.
I think Wabash is going to decline this penalty. I don't think they want Terry Dickey returning his punt.
I would have to agree. Terry Dickey has already had 1 touchdown on a punt return this season. It went 81 yards the other way. That was against Millsaps College. He is dangerous, not only running, not only passing. He can pass. Not only that, he can also catch the ball. He's the leading receiver for the Tigers. You see penalties in the game so far. The Tigers have been hurt bad for a couple of them. 20-yard in penalties already. Wabash has had 1 5-yarder against them. The Tiger offense comes back to the line of scrimmage. They had a long drive last time. We'll see what happens this time. They were effective on the ground game on their last series. We'll see if they go back to it. Stadler and Dickey in the backfield behind Brian Goodman, the quarterback. 1st down and 10. The ball on the 43-yard line of the Tigers. Handoff up the middle to Stadler. He breaks free from about 5 tacklers, fighting his way forward. An incredible 13-yard run as he bangs his way forward. Finally brought down by Jason Gallman, who leads Wabash in tackles on the season. Gallman finally able to catch up to him after an incredible gain of 13 yards. A great job by Jason Stadler.
Yes, Jason is a great runner, and I think it's significant to note that the Wabash middle linebacker is making these tackles 8 yards down the line of scrimmage. We're doing a great job blocking in that forward wall right now.
The offensive line doing a superb job, Coach. Stadler again takes the snap. He bounces off 2 tacklers and fights across the 40-yard line, where he gets it down to the 37 of Wabash. The Tigers with 2 straight running plays, both to Jason Stadler, and both for big yardage. The first one went 13 yards. That one goes for 6 yards. So the Tigers looking really tough on the offensive ground game in this early going of this football game.
There's 5:10 left in this first quarter, and we've been going against the wind, and so we pretty much dominated about 9 minutes of this first quarter holding on. It's just too bad we couldn't have taken that first drive in there.
The longer the DePauw offense is on the field, the longer the Bill Padgett cannot put the ball in the air for the Wabash offense. This time the handoff to Dickey. He covers it up as he goes off right tackle, fighting to the 35-yard line. About a 3-yard gain. It's going to set up a 3rd down and 1. Tigers on the season have been able to convert 27% of their 3rd downs. We'll see what happens this time. That's not that high of a percentage as compared to Wabash, who's been able to convert on 41% of their 3rd down opportunities. It's 3rd down now and 1 yard to go. Single back in the backfield. That's Jason Stadler. Goodman under center. Terry Dickey lines up as a wide receiver on the left side. The handoff goes to Stadler. He fights up the middle, picks up more yardage, still fighting on his feet across the 30-yard line. An incredible run by Jason Stadler. The workhorse fires the ball across down to the 28-yard line, brought down by Jason Gallman again. We'll take a look at that play. It's just sure power by Jason Stadler that time, Coach.
Obviously, just one-on-one blocking up in there. There's no lead blocker. Jason just takes it. He's doing it on his own right now. The Wabash is, unless they do something to shore up that inside of that defense, they're going to be in trouble because Jason, I'll guarantee you, he's going to do this all afternoon on it.
I heard a statistic the other day that Jason Stadler has been tackled for a loss no more than 6 times in his entire career at DePauw. He takes the snap again picks up big yardage, crosses the 15, fighting his way forward. Another first down, no flags. The Tigers are again threatening for a touchdown.
Jason takes the pitch from Goodman, turns the corner, sees a nice seam there, gets those shoulders squared up, and he's going north right now. Jason is going north. He's doing really well out there.
The ball rests now on the 13-yard line. Jason Stadler, in his career against Wabash, has averaged 4.5 yards per carry. In this contest, he's having a considerably better effort as he has just been able to do anything he wants to against the Wabash defense. Stadler blocks this time as Dickey takes the snap, or takes the handoff from Brian Goodman, and he gets tripped up in the backfield and goes nowhere. That could be a loss. It is a loss of 1 yard on the play as Dickey is brought down in the backfield. Quick penetration by the defensive line for Wabash. The Tigers now 2nd down and 11. We could see a passing situation. Jason Stadler is going to be the lone setback. Terry Dickey's going to line up in the slot on the left wing. Far right side is Steve Broderick. 2 tight ends on the line of scrimmage for the Tigers as Brian Goodman takes the snap, turns, hands it to Stadler. He fights off right tackle, keeps going. He's across the 10, still on his feet, fighting down inside the 5-yard line. Incredible run. He broke 4 tackles on that play as he gets down to the 3-yard line.
I've been out of coaching for about 12 years, but I'll guarantee you right now, I just tell everybody, get out of Jason's way and just give it to him and let him take it in there, because this man wants it real bad, as you can see.
Unbelievable.
That was just an unbelievable run, all on his own.
Finally brought down by Mike Warren. The Tigers are now on the 4-yard line. 3rd down and 1 as the Tigers try to get that first down. Goodman under center, takes the snap, pitches it to Terry Dickey. Goes inside, looks for the first down, and I don't know if he got it or not. There was a key block on that play by Jason Stadler as he got on Mike Warren, who was in the backfield looking to tackle Dickey. But Stadler got in his way and may have opened up the hole wide enough for Dickey to get through for the first down. We'll see what happens. We could have a measurement on the play.
I think he's picked up the first 10 by about the length of the football.
We're going to go to an official timeout as they're going to try and measure this one. It's very close for the Tigers. I have a feeling that Coach Nick may go for the may go for the 4th down, even if they don't make it. We're going to take got a minute 57 left here in this first quarter of play, and it's 0-0. Neither team has been able to score. However, the Tigers did drive down to about the 1-foot line on their last drive, whereupon they fumbled the ball back to the 8-yard line and could not get the field goal to go through. So the Tigers had a fumble on their first drive that cost them. They were able to get on top of it, but still knocked them back in position where they could not get to it.
It's Jason Stadler now.
1st down and goal. The Tigers got 1 man in the backfield. That's Jason Stadler. We could see him get the handoff. Goodman takes the snap, turns, tries to keep it on his own, and doesn't go anywhere. I don't think he even got back to the line of scrimmage, and I think we had another miscommunication in the backfield, as I think that was supposed to be a handoff to Stadler off right guard, and Goodman didn't get there in time. He had to eat it again. That's the 2nd time that's happened now, Coach.
It might be a little slick down there, and he's pulling out, he's slipping, and he can't get the ball to Jason. Jason's getting off the mark real fast. You can see he did not get there in time to get the handoff to Jason. Well, we've got 3 downs to make 3 yards. Let's go for it.
2nd down and goal for the Tigers. Dickey in motion. Stadler, the man in the backfield. He takes the handoff. He tries to run over 1 man, and he's not going to go anywhere. Very strong tackle by Gary Grove. He comes through on a blitz and brings down Jason Stadler and doesn't let him go anywhere. He may have even brought him down behind the line of scrimmage, which, believe me, takes a lot of effort to do. 3rd down now and 4 yards to go for the Tigers.
We're trying to break this. He's trying to break it to the outside. That was probably his only mistake he made today. He should have just taken what they were giving him, maybe a yard gain, and he tried to make something out of nothing, and Wabash's defense was up to it that time.
The 10th play of this drive is the Tigers trying to put the ball in the end zone. It's 3rd down, and we'll call it officially 5 yards. I formation in the backfield. Flag on the play. I think that it's going to be a delay of game. It is.
That is a major mistake right there. A major mistake. DePauw has to throw the ball right now.
That makes it a little bit more difficult for Coach Moroz as he must go back to Brian Goodman. Goodman has been 1 out of 2 on the day passing. and he's going to have to go back to the air. I'm thinking it's 3rd down and 10 yards to get in the end zone. The Tigers with another crucial error. That's now 25 yards in penalties they've had on the day. You see the drive has taken the Tigers 10 plays, 45 yards. Goodman under center. He drops back. He's going to throw the ball out in the flat. Steve Broderick takes it, tries to lose the man, and gets in the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers.
What an athletic play. What an athletic play.
Pat Garner was there for the coverage for Wabash, but Steve Broderick knew he was right behind him, knew he would have to change directions to get away from him, and does so successfully in a very athletic move. As you said, Coach, Steve Broderick with his 3rd touchdown of the season, I believe, as he works his way into the end zone. Very impressive. The Tigers now on top 6-0, and that really helps their confidence. And not only that, helps Brian Goodman's confidence as he came back. And the pass did not look like it would have been enough to get in the end zone, but Broderick shows great athleticism and works his way into the end zone. Touchdown for the Tigers.
This is an important extra point.
Junta with the extra point try. It is blocked. It is blocked. The Tigers are only on top now 6-0 as they cannot get the extra point to go through. And that, as you said, Coach, is very crucial. And we'll see how much that affects them throughout the rest of this football game.
I'm worried about Mike right now because he missed 2 extra points the last week, and he's now missed this one. And he had a field goal block today. I think his confidence level is real low.
Let's look at that touchdown play again. It's an incredible move by Steve Broderick.
Just a quick drop by Goodman, puts it out in the flat to Broderick. He knows that he can't make it in the corner end zone. He stops, he pivots. What a great, it's just to keep his balance. And that feels just a little slick out there. He did a great job getting that ball in the end zone.
6-0 the score. That play was the end of the first quarter of play. As Broderick goes into the end zone, very impressive. Nice job from the Tigers. Now Jason Petrovich will kick the ball off for DePauw. And standing deep at the other end of the field for Wabash is George Leno and also Chris WIESEHAN. The scoring drive, as you see, took up 5 minutes and 56 seconds. 56 yards they went for 11 plays. Very impressive. The Tigers in this first quarter, they had 27 plays as compared to just 3 for Wabash. And if you don't think the ball control is important in this game, look out. The Tigers are just eating up the clock and keeping the offense from Wabash off the field.
I just hope that we're not going to have to regret some of those mistakes we made earlier. We should probably have 2 touchdowns in there right now and we'd be in really great shape. We have the wind at our back right now. And but the way it is, Wabash is right in this game. They have a potent attack. Padgett's an excellent quarterback. You know they're going to put it up.
With the score 6-0, we'll be right back. And welcome back. Bret Baier is back down on the sideline. Let's go to Bret immediately.
Kevin, we said before, it's all a game of confidence. Coach Nick is talking to the offensive line here, trying to fire them up, trying to get that offensive line working. He's got them working here, and he's got Goodman, and his confidence is building with the DePauw team. Let's go back to Kevin in the booth.
All right, we got the kickoff. The Tigers on top 6-0, unable to convert the extra point. As Jason Petrovich kicks the ball off from his own 35-yard line. It's going to be picked up by Chris WIESEHAN. He's a sophomore, and he brings the ball up the field across the 20-yard line, wrapped up by a series of DePauw tacklers, and brought down at the 25-yard line where Wabash's offense will take the field, 1st down and 10. The Tigers in that first quarter very dominating and able to control the ball all the way. They were successful on 3rd down tries. They were 5 out of 7 in that 1st down. That's their conversion rate at this point, and they're just doing a superb job. The defense had one chance to show their stuff in the first quarter, and they look tough as well. Everything firing on all cylinders for the Tigers, and with the exception of a couple of mental breakdowns we've seen so far, DePauw looking very tough. Bill Padgett turns, fakes the handoff on a play action, and drops back to pass. He's going to take it on his own as he scrambles forward. We've got a fumble. I think that Wabash got back on top of that one. Bill Padgett can scramble. There was nobody open, so he decided to take the ball on his own. He crossed the initial line of scrimmage and fumbled the ball away. Wabash was able to get back up on top of the ball. Very scary situation for Wabash there for just a moment, but they're able to recover.
Play action pass. Padgett decided to run the ball. He pulled it down. There was a man open to the left flat. I think he probably thought it would be a high-risk pass, so he decided to run the ball. They were lucky to come out of there with the ball. I think Wabash is going to open it up just a little bit more. I think they maybe got a little discouraged on that last possession running the ball.
David Cogan is the lone setback in the backfield, and here comes Paget. He's a left-hander, and he rolls out to his left side. He fights off a couple of tacklers, finally brought down. Incredible defensive effort that time. The Tigers able to bring him down right there for the tackle. Tim Hedrick, a sophomore, didn't see much playing time last year. Chased down Paget, brings him down for a sack.
Look for Paget to maybe come back with a screen pass of sorts, maybe a pass over the middle, trying to pick up that first down. I think that they're in a position right now that they don't want to throw a high percentage or a low percentage pass because they can get this thing picked off right now. And I think our defensive line with their big job is going to have to contain him in that pocket. Don't let him get outside of containment here. It's pretty quick.
Could see a passing play. We got 3 wide receivers flanked on the right side. Paget's back to pass. He rolls right, and now he's going to air it out. He's going long. It's Chris WIESEHAN versus Rico Terrell, and Rico intercepts the football. Down at his own 23-yard line, the Tigers are able to intercept the pass. And Bill Paget will throw the ball up for grabs at times. That time it was one-on-one between WIESEHAN and Terrell, and Rico comes down with it. We'll take a look at the replay on that one. An incredible effort by the defensive back, Rico Terrell.
As I mentioned before, we don't want to let him get out. We don't want to let him get outside of containment, and he rolls out and he gets outside of our defensive end, sets up real good, squares up his shoulders, and lets this thing go down the field. And Rico Terrell makes a great interception here. But I would think that Wabash was not unhappy with that because it's just as good as a punt. I'd love to see Wabash have to punt to Dickey.
That's the 15th interception of the year by Bill Paget. His only game he's ever played in his career without throwing an interception came last week, so he has been prone to throw them. The Tigers with the ball back. The handoff to Stadler. He jumps over the offensive line and fights his way forward for about 3 yards. That, incidentally, is Rico Terrell's 3rd interception. A great effort. The Tigers have the ball back right where they want it, where they can start grinding out the clock and grinding out some yards down the field.
This is going to be important, Kevin, that we continue to keep this ball on the ground, eat up that clock, keep Wabash's offense off the field.
First downs in that first quarter of play. You see DePauw with 6, Wabash with 0. That's very important. Wabash hasn't been able to do anything. They've been only offensively on the field for 5 plays. On the other hand, there's Terry Dickey making a catch for the Tigers. He's the leading receiver and gets them close to a first down. So Goodman again able to find Terry Dickey, and he's had a pretty good day so far. Now 3 out of 4. Tigers on top 6-0. As it's close to a first down, that ball went out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. They need to get just a little bit more than that. I think it's going to be a 3rd down and very short. They're going to measure it. Here come the sticks across the field. Dickey is going to come over to the sidelines and have a chat with Coach Nick Morosis. Coach Nick has really done a super job this year. He has just orchestrated his offense so well, considering the fact that he started out the season with a quarterback who had little or no experience, really, Brian Goodman. He's come in and he's basically had to break him down and start from scratch as he did at the start of the season. And Goodman has really done a pretty good job for a guy playing in his first year of collegiate football. When you think about it experience-wise, he is a sophomore, didn't see any playing time last year. And more importantly, he's playing in his first Monon Bell game and handling things pretty well, Coach.
I think the coach is doing a great job giving him passes that are high percentage passes, quick passes in the flat. He tried to throw a screen pass early.
Sidra Arnold is down in the stands. We're going to go ahead and take it down to Sidra. Take it away, Sidra.
Jim Menahan with me, and he quarterbacked the 1962 come-from-behind victory. How was that game, Jim?
Well, it was colder and wetter than this one.
But you came out on top, nevertheless.
We did.
All right, that's great. Back to Kevin.
Thanks, Sidra. The Tigers now 3rd down and 1. The first down was not made by Terry Dickey, but the handoff goes to Jason Stadler, and he picks it up rather easily. So the offensive line again opening up big holes. And again, Jason Stadler finding the right ones and making his way forward for more yardage. Stadler has had a superb effort this afternoon, amassing yard after yard and just really engineering the DePauw offense down the field. He's had 14 carries now for 94 yards unofficially.
What I think we're seeing it happening right now is that Jason is wearing down that Wabash defense, and the first thing you know is going to happen is Terry Dickey's going to get that pitch, and that pursuit's going to be just a little slow getting out to the corner. We may just see a big gainer here.
First down and 10. The ball rests at the DePauw 36-yard line. A counter play goes to Terry Dickey. He finds a lot of yardage, fights his way forward for a nice first down, and Terry Dickey doesn't run away from any tackler. And as you saw on that play, ran right over Bill Kepler, who is the defensive linebacker for Wabash, and ran him over, carried him forward for about 3 more yards, and was able to pick up some big yardage and the first down. So Dickey, a very strong runner as well as fast.
Dickey will play a very important part of this game before it's all over. You can count on that. Very important.
High formation behind Goodman. Again, the Tigers are again on the drive, on top already 6-0. Ryan Goodman hands the ball to Stadler and again fights past that defensive line and makes it to the linebackers before he's brought down. Already in the football game, we failed to mention it when it happened, but Dickey and Stadler have broken the single-season record for 2 DePauw backs in a season. That is a record that has stood since 1973. So Stadler and Dickey are having the best season the 2 backs have ever had here at DePauw University. Bret Baier's down on the sideline again. We'll take it back down to Bret.
They better get moving. That clock's down to 9 seconds.
Okay, we said before the Monon Bell game is really intense battle, but most people just don't know how intense. Thanks to Dr. Mike King, the class of 1979, he made the mouthpieces for every player. You can see a tiny bell, the player's name, and the words "Beat Wabash." So I guess DePauw's team's been biting down on Wabash for a long time this season. Back to you, Kevin.
They're certainly biting down on them today. They're on top 6-0, but that score really doesn't tell the story, Coach, does it? I mean, these really, legitimately, they could have already be on top now 14-0. They made a couple of errors that have cost them 1 touchdown, and they missed an extra point try, so now it's 6-0. So if you're Wabash, you got to feel happy from the standpoint that DePauw has been able to dominate, but only has 6 points to show for it. But also, if you're DePauw, you have to feel happy with the fact that Wabash's offense has only been able to take 5 snaps, whereas DePauw's offense has been on the field for almost the entire game.
To be winning 6-0 and making all these mistakes is I don't know if it's a good sign or a bad sign, but we better stop making these mistakes right here. 2nd and long, that's not where we want to be.
It's a pitch play. Dickey around the right side. Good blocking up front. Stadler was just manhandling. He was leading the blocking on the play, and I think he got Bill Kepler out of there rather easily. We'll take a look at that. Key block by Jason Stadler as Dickey picks up another 6 yards.
Just a tailback pitch into the short field. Jason Stadler blocking off the corner, picking up number 90. Dickey just ran out of running room, and what they say, Mr. Sidelines never missed a tackle.
Nick Kronk was the one that Stadler was blocking, not Kepler. Finally making the tackle on the play was Mike Warren. He's not that big of a defensive back. He makes a lot of tackles, and he's very tough, and he has made a lot of tackles today. But fortunately for DePauw, most of those tackles have not happened until 7 or 8 yards down the field. Stadler again takes the snap, runs into a wall of Wabash tacklers. Big hit applied this time by Jason Gallman. We're going to hear his name a lot today. He leads the team in tackling. And the Tigers unable to make the first down. So Stadler brought down, can't make it past where he needs to be for a first down. So it's 4th down. We'll call it 4 to go. And Matt Russell is on the field. Russell on the season has been punting rather effectively. He's got a long punt of 64 yards, and he's averaging 36.3 punts per punt, or 36.4 yards per punt, I should say. This one comes down at the 6-yard line where Chris WIESEHAN is waiting for it, and brought down. An incredible tackle this time by Ben Comer as he gets down the field first, and he finds Chris WIESEHAN.
Wabash is down on their own 6-yard line. Now, this is a time that DePauw would like to force them into a big mistake, and I think that what Wabash would like to do is just pick up a couple of 1st and 10s and get out of the shadows of their own goal line. Don't be surprised to see Wabash maybe throw the ball on 1st down, a little play action.
10 minutes, 4 seconds to go in the 2nd quarter of play as Wabash starts their drive on their own 5-yard line. Could be a passing situation. Bill Padgett, the quarterback of Wabash, now in his 2nd year as the starter, trying to get his first Monon Bell victory. He's a senior. He hands the ball off to David Kogan, a freshman, and Kogan gets very close to the first down, but I think he's going to be a yard shy. He found a big opening on the left side of the line and breaks down to about the 15-yard line. A nice run by the freshman.
Kogan is a big back, 198-pound freshman, great speed. We thought we'd see him maybe even a little earlier than this, but the Wabash hadn't had the ball that much. But I think from now on, I think you're going to see probably Kogan be the tailback for Wabash. Strong runner.
Kogan, as a freshman, has led Wabash in rushing this year, which is a very impressive feat considering the fact that Wabash also has in their arsenal Bill Brady, who's a senior and very good as well. Kogan takes the snap this time. He's wrapped up by Tom Beaulieu and brought down in the backfield. Nice job by the Tigers as they bring down Wabash for a loss. It makes it a little bit more difficult now as it's now 3rd down and still needing to get that first down as Wabash. So a key play for the Tigers.
This is a key play for the Tigers, but it is a big, big play for Wabash College. If they don't make this 1st and 10 and they have to punt, they're punting against the wind. Dickey's going to be back there. We're going to have excellent field position. This is a big play.
Bill Padgett steps up underneath center, and he's got 3rd down and 2 yards to go.
Look for him to roll out right now, Kevin.
Man in motion from the Wabash receiving corps, taking the ball around the right-hand side. George Lino tries for the 1st down, doesn't get it. Several DePauw tacklers there on the way. Rico Terrell comes away. Mark Zimfra comes away, cheering. And also Matt Nelson. Those 3 were there first along with John Perry. So a big play by the DePauw defense as they stop Wabash again. Bret Baier down on the sidelines. Things going well for the Tigers. Let's take it to Bret and see how he's doing.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm here with Rex Call, the head athletic trainer. We're talking about the defense. Al Hackbarth had a serious injury to his knee. Paul Bickle with his finger. They seem to be doing fine now.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with both players at this point. Al's mobility is good out on the field, and Paul's having no problems at defensive back.
Let's hope nothing else happens. Thanks, Rex.
Nice play, that nice punt. Or actually a poor punt by Wabash, gets the ball down, but I should say nice field position for the Tigers as they're inside of Wabash territory at the 45-yard line, and you can see it as Wabash's defense comes on the field. These guys are worn out. They look tired already. I mean, we're in the 2nd quarter with 8 minutes to go, and they've been on the field for practically the entire game. DePauw's offensive line has dominated this football game, opening up hole after hole for the men in the backfield, Jason Stadler and Terry Dickey, who have had outstanding days to this point. 1st down and 10 for the Tigers. The handoff this time to Dickey, fights inside a couple tacklers. Finally, 3 men bring him down after crossing the 45-yard line. Not much of a gain. Scott Perkins was there, he's the defensive end, and brings him down. Pickup of 2 yards on the play as it's 2nd down and 8 for the Tigers.
Looks like we're in a passing situation here, and I think that if we do throw one, it's going to be at least, I think we're going to throw a high percentage pass here. Maybe Dickey in the flat. We have 2 wide receivers to the wide field. I think you're probably going to throw it to the left side of the field here.
2nd down and 8. The snap goes to Goodman. He hands it to Stadler, fighting way forward. Broke away from one man, kept the legs moving, and fights the 40-yard line. Again, sheer power by Jason Stadler, breaking through the offensive line, picking up some key blocks from his offensive line. Over there, Craig Lauer and Tyler Gilbert, they've started on the right side of that offensive line, and they have been opening up hole after hole for him all day long. We'll take a look at this one on the replay, Coach.
Just a straight handoff to Jason. I think that Coach Morosis is saying, hey, we're running through him, we're running over him. Why not just continue doing that? That's why I'm up in the booth announcing, not coaching.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's correct.
The offense's backfield and the offensive line are not broke yet. Wabash has not proved they can stop the run until this play as Dickey is wrapped up and brought down for a huge loss, which really, that's too bad for the Tigers as they were looking at a 3rd down and 5, trying to get the 1st down. Dickey goes nowhere. Dickey wrapped up good defensive coverage that time. On the tackle was Kenyatta Brame. He plays on that defensive line. He finally breaks through, and you knew it was bound to happen sooner or later, bringing him down. A great tackle also by Eric Shuttle. He's there as well. Matt Russell takes his time and angles this punt toward the left hash mark, and it goes into the end zone. A touchback brings the ball out to the 20-yard line, where Wabash is going to start 1st down and 10.
Kevin, at this time, I think the Wabash has to feel real good about what's going on. They're down 6-0, but their offense hadn't been on the field more than 3 minutes in this game, and they're only down 6-0. And DePauw starting to wonder what the devil's going on. I think that right now this game could turn around with a couple big plays by Wabash. I'm hoping our defense is up to it and gets all over this quarterback.
Craig Hardesty along with Eric Snively are on the left side. Chris Wiesehan, the wide receiver, split wide to the right. In the backfield is Bob Brady. Padgett under center, drops back. He's going to try and throw long. It's Wiesehan. He makes the catch across the 50-yard line. Incredible play by Wabash's offense as they come right back and go to the same play that they got intercepted the last time they had the ball. Bill Padgett to Chris Wiesehan for a long pass play. The tackle brought down, that's Teej Lewis on the coverage for the Tigers.
What we saw there was a safety blitz by DePauw University, and Teej got caught out there one-on-one with Wiesehan, and I think Wiesehan has just a little bit more speed than Teej, and they took advantage of it.
33 yards covered on the pass play, moves the Tigers defense into their own territory for the first time today. The Wabash offense is on the move. That's the Wabash's offense first
first down of the day. And here we are at 5 minutes 44 to go in the second quarter. The handoff up the middle. David Kogan fighting his way forward. He broke at least 4 tackles before finally being brought down at the 40-yard line. Series of DePauw tacklers all over him that time. Kirk Ayler is there. Matt Nelson is there. Also on the bottom is John Perry. There's a little extracurricular activity going on after the play. Wabash is finally starting to move the ball, Coach.
Just took that one big play. They were holding in there 6-0, and all of a sudden you take that streak pass down the sidelines, and there's nothing like a 30-yarder to build up morale. So I think right now DePauw's defense is going to have to stiffen. They're going to be in trouble here.
You can hear it. The Wabash fans are on their feet. It didn't take much to get them fired up, and as soon as they got behind the Little Giants, it could be a different story in the football game. Padgett again under center, second down and short yards. Hands the ball to Brady. He tries right side, can't make it. Nice tackle on the play by Al Hackbarth, and what a story behind him. He had a knee problem. You heard Bret Baier talking. You heard Bret Baier talking to the trainer Rex Call, and Al Hackbarth, and there's a flag down on the play, makes the tackle. Hackbarth was out for most of the season with a knee problem and ends up making a superb tackle. Second down and again short yardage, but there is a flag.
Face mask, 5-yard inadvertent.
I'm thinking it's going to be a first down. Wabash goes with a first down after inadvertent face mask by the Tigers, and again, little tiny errors cost the Tigers all day long. First down and 10. Wabash up to the line of scrimmage. Bill Padgett, the quarterback, leading his team down the field. He had a big 33-yard pass play to Chris WIESEHAN, which gets him into DePauw territory, and he's going to try and continue this drive. There's a timeout on the field, however. 6-0 the score, 4:21 on the clock. Sidra Arnold is down in the stands. We're going to go back down to Sidra. Take it away, Sidra.
I'm here with Doug McAllister. He was a guard on the team in the late 60s. Doug, what does the DePauw-Wabash rivalry mean to you?
The thing that the DePauw-Wabash rivalry really brings home to me is the intensity and the fun and the fact that I've lived all over the country in the last 25 years. Every November I can look and see what happens in the DePauw-Wabash game, and I remember what a long winter it can be when you lose to them and how great it is when it's like it is today, and we're going to kick these guys all the way back to Crawfordsville.
Right, it's unsurpassed. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks a lot, Sidra. And as it stands now, the Bell is in Greencastle, and as long as it stays here, it will not be a cold winter for the Tigers. It's 4 years that the Bell has resided here at DePauw University, and Wabash obviously hungry to bring it home. And Coach, you know how it can be sometimes. You've been a part of some winning Wabash and DePauw games, DePauw winning several of those when you were coaching, and you know what it's like when you lose that game. You don't even like to remember those.
I'll tell you, if the temperature averaged 56 degrees, it would still seem cold here in the wintertime losing. You just don't even want to think about that.
Wabash with the ball, then trying to fight the way down the field. Padgett is back and throws the pass across the 30-yard line. Complete to Eric Snidely. The Tigers now are on defense, second down now, and about 4 yards to go. Bret Baier back down on the sidelines. We'll go to him.
Okay, I have here a DePauw helmet. On there you see a DL and the number 1. The DL stands for Dick Lyons, who unfortunately died last year of a heart attack. He was the Associate Director of Admissions and Athletics. The number 1 stands for Ken Holland. He was a safety who died in a car accident. DePauw has dedicated both this season to both of them. Back to Kevin.
Thank you, Bret. The handoff goes this time to Dave Kogan. He fights right side. Can't get quite to the first down. The tackle on the play, I believe, made by Tom Beaulieu. Also there was Tim Hedrick. Those two there combining on the hit. Third down and short yardage now. The Tigers would really like to stop Wabash on third down this time, I'm sure.
Well, look for Padgett to roll left. He's a left-hander. Look for him to roll left, try to get outside of containment here. Although they have their 3 wide receivers into the short field, look for him maybe to try to get outside here on the left maybe.
6-0 the score. The handoff goes up the middle to Brady. I don't know if he got it. He was trying to get the ball to the 24-yard line, and I don't think he got back to the line of scrimmage even. A big hit by John Perry up the middle on the play, and it's going to be very close. I believe it is indeed going to be fourth down. They didn't make it. They're at least a yard shy, and Wabash is going to call their second timeout. 2 minutes and 52 seconds to go on the clock, and I'm sure Wabash would really like to get the ball in the end zone before the half. if they could get out of this half without DePauw scoring again, and especially if they could score again, they would have to feel very happy about that, as DePauw really has dominated the entire game, only has 6 points to show for it. And if Wabash could score here inside the next 2 minutes and 52 seconds, they would definitely have the momentum edge going into the locker room. This is a very important drive.
You don't want to make the statement that this isn't a very important down, but I would say that it's a good yard and a half, and I think that what you're going to see here again, I made the statement, I think, if I was coaching Wabash, I'd be rolling Padgett out off the corner, pass run option, maybe a little quick pass in the flat, or just run the ball. They might just go with a fullback sweep too, or a tailback sweep, but I don't think they're going to touch the middle of that line again. They've been rejected a few times today.
Wabash has not been on the field very often, but as you saw by that graphic, they've been able to lead the passing yardage rather handily. They've got 40 yards passing as compared to 28 for DePauw. Back on the field, 4th down and short yardage, and Kogan is able to make the first down. The handoff off right tackle by Wabash, and Kogan is able to pick it up. First down for the Wabash Little Giants, as now they're pretty much threatening for a touchdown, as they're almost to the 20-yard line, and when it gets to be there, you never know. They're going to measure it, however. It looked like it was a pretty obvious first down. We're going to see a measurement on the field, however.
I think it's the first down by maybe half the ball. They went to the power I formation, and that's their inside running game when they do that.
It's very close, and it's a first down. First down for Wabash. 2 minutes, 48 seconds is all the time left here in the second quarter, and the ball rests at the 24-yard line.
Big defensive stand for the Tigers right now. Big. They don't want to go into this locker room down. Big defensive stand.
The Tiger defense has come through all season long. In the early points of the season, when the Tiger offense was still getting in gear, the defense kept them in the game. The defense has got to come up tough this time. Bill Padgett under center, first down and 10. Back to pass is Padgett over the middle. The pass complete. Complete to Brian Zimmer. Close to a first down. The ball resting on the 13-yard line. I believe it will be a first down, and it is. We'll take a look at that one, Coach.
Padgett did a great job. We shot a linebacker up the middle. He's almost on him, John Curry, but he throws the ball right over the middle, left right in the area where that linebacker blitzed from.
Snidely comes to the near side. On the far right side of the ball is Chris WIESEHAN. Bill Padgett, the quarterback, under center. Looks over the defense from DePauw, hands the ball to David Kogan, the lone setback in the backfield. He changes directions and gets the ball down to the 5-yard line. The clock is still ticking. We're at the 2-minute mark. Wabash is at the 5-yard line, knocking on the door.
Kevin Kogan is a load. He is a big back. He's strong, and I can see right now we're going to have trouble with him for a long time if he's just a freshman. He can cut back against the grain. He made a good judgment right there. I think right now what you're going to see is the power I formation which they're lined up in, and Kogan's going to be carrying this ball. He's going to run to the left.
Another timeout is called by Bill Padgett, and obviously upset. That's the 3rd timeout of the football game by DePauw. And since we have a timeout, we're going to go back down to Sidra, down in the stands.
I'm here with Mr. and Mrs. Mike Main, and their daughter's watching from Mr. Dave's Sports Bar in Washington, D.C. How are you guys enjoying the game so far?
We love it. DePauw's #1. Hi, Melinda. How are you?
It's a great game so far.
Beat Wabash.
Score.
Right. Beat Wabash.
Have fun. Thanks.
Thank you.
Back to you, Kevin.
Coach, I'm not able to understand what exactly is causing Wabash so many problems. That's the 3rd timeout they've had to call here, and all in the second quarter of play. It's really it's only timeouts remaining in the football game are in this half. That Wabash has got none. DePauw has 3. So if it gets down to the point where Wabash needs to kick a field goal, they're not going to have that timeout to spend. In the second quarter of play this season, Wabash that's been one of their favorite quarters to score, as they've been able to score 40 points against the opposition during that quarter. That's their #1 quarter, so that's the quarter we're in now. We'll see if they can add to that total. The handoff goes to Kogan up the middle, and he's able to get more yards, fight toward the first down. The clock is ticking. It's at 1:26 and an official timeout to measure, which really helps out Wabash because it stops that clock. And I think they're going to give him the first down for sure. So it's first down and goal. The ball is at the 3-yard line. Bill Padgett steps into his huddle and talks with his players. You see the DePauw defense standing out there. They know they've got their backs against the wall, and they know they have a job to do. We'll see what happens. The crowd's fired up. Bill Padgett steps underneath the center. Takes the snap, hands the ball to Kobe. He dives over the middle. Did he get the touchdown? It's very close. I don't think he did. He landed very near to the goal line, and they're going to call it second down in inches.
Just a power eye formation. He makes the leap, makes a great leap to get up in the air. It was a good call. We're going to run the same play again, or the quarterback sneak.
Clock is running on the play. We've got 42 seconds to go. In this quarter, Bill Padgett, the quarterback, takes it on his own and goes in for the touchdown. Good execution by the offensive line from Wabash as they open up enough room for Bill Padgett to sneak his way through and get 6 points for the Little Giants. It's all tied up. They did that fight in the clock as they don't have any timeouts to stop the clock, and it was ticking down inside of a minute. We're at 39 seconds to go in the second quarter as Wabash ties the football game up 6-6. And as we said earlier with that missed extra point by DePauw, that was a very important one to miss. And it's now up to DePauw to try and even the score and block one of Wabash's. Kicking for Wabash is Brian Rising, and it's up. And it's through the goalpost. DePauw is now down by a point. It's 7-6 in favor of the Little Giants. DePauw dominated the entire first quarter and most of the second quarter, and then Wabash is able to score. That really hurts DePauw.
Believe me, when we made those mistakes early on in the first quarter, I felt that they'd probably come back to haunt us later. But I think that what we're going to have to do is just get this kickoff, take our time, let this clock run out, go in, regroup, and come out and take care of business in the second half. We did a good job.
With the score 7-6 in favor of the Wabash Little Giants, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Blackstock Stadium, everyone. Kevin Eskew along with Coach Ted Katula. The plays on that last drive, 10 plays, 80 yards covered in 5 minutes, 27 seconds. A 1-yard touchdown run by Bill Padgett is where we are right now. 7-6 in favor of Wabash after they were able to convert the extra point. The kickoff goes to Jason Boer, who picks it up at the 26-yard line. He tries to fight across that 35-yard line. He's not going to be able to do it. The Tiger offense comes onto the field where they will have to march a long way to be able to put the ball in the end zone before the half, and if they're able to do so, that would really help them out. So this is an important drive for DePauw. The ball is on the 35-yard line where they'll start first down and 10 with 33.7 seconds to go in the first half. Brian Goodman up to the line of scrimmage. Very importantly to note, though, the Tigers have 3 timeouts that they can use. The man in motion is Mark Hudson. The pass in the flat goes to Terry Dickey. He picks it at the 32-yard line, fights his way toward the out-of-bounds marker, and gets there. Crosses up to about the 43-yard line. Short pickup for the Tigers. The clock now down to 28 seconds. Terry Dickey makes that reception. We've mentioned before that Terry Dickey can catch the ball. And on the season, Dickey is the leading receiver. Coming into the game, he had 21 receptions for 324 yards. The average is almost 16 yards per reception.
This quarterback has to be careful right now. We don't want to do anything stupid here.
Goodman, the quarterback, takes the shotgun snap, throws it over to Mark Netherland, who has the ball go in and out of his hands as he dives out of bounds. That brings up third down. 23.6 seconds to go in the second quarter of play. 7-6 Wabash on top.
They'd probably do well just to give the ball to Stadler right now, pick up the 1st and 10, maybe call a timeout if they wanted to.
Wabash is successful 41% of the time stopping the opposition on third down conversions. This is the third down and short. Goodman under center. He's going to drop straight back, looking for someone to get the ball off to, and throws it in and out of the hands of Jason Stadler. That's a 4th down.
They're going to have to kick the ball.
They're going to have to kick the ball, and not only do they have to kick the ball, but they're going to give it to Wabash with time on the clock, which gives them time to at least throw a few long passes for some miracle play at the end of this second quarter of play. 19.1 seconds to go after the punt. It's going to be inside of 15 seconds, which is more than enough time for Bill Padgett to hook up and go long. We'll see if the Tigers do indeed decide to punt. And they will. Matt Roussel is coming onto the field with the punt team.
Wabash is going to send everybody here.
A block would be very detrimental to the Tigers, and you know that Wabash, as you said, Coach, is going to bring everybody they've got. Standing deep is not even one of the return specialists. That's Eric Shuttle standing on his own 25-yard line. You see the score, 7-6 in favor of Wabash. The Tigers have really, to be honest, dominated the first quarter statistically and almost in every way from the offensive line. They just made a couple of crucial errors that have cost them.
Wabash does not have 11 people out there, I don't think.
Here comes everybody. They're going to come after Matt Russell. He takes the snap and gets it off. It's a nice punt. The clock begins to tick down, and it would really help the Tigers if the ball stopped before going in the end zone, and it does not. It's going to be a touchback, which will bring it out to the 20-yard line, where Bill Paget now has just 11 seconds to work with before the end of the half. He may just decide to sit on the ball and go in the locker room and talk about it.
That's pretty much what I do, or else I just little play action and throw deep. When we showed a tendency to be a little weak covering those wide receivers in the deep zones, that could be, they feel like things are going their way, they may try. But for all intents and purposes, I think the smart play would just take the ball and just down it and finish the half.
Only 2 wide receivers out there, which definitely could mean that Paget will kneel on the football. He's underneath the center and does kneel. That's going to run out the clock at the end of the first half of play. Wabash is on top, 7-6. The Tigers go into the locker room after having a very good effort in that first half of play, but they're down by a point. That's got to hurt you. Bret Baier's on the sideline with Coach Nick Moroz. Take it away, Bret.
Okay, Kevin, Coach, you're down by 1. What are you looking for in the second half here?
Well, basically, we're disappointed in the first half that we didn't get on the boards. I thought we should have had 2 scores or at least a field goal and a score. And second half, we moved the ball very well. We didn't put it in the end zone. And I don't want to have happened in 1986 happen to us.
Running or passing in the second half?
Well, both. We have to mix them up now. We got to mix them up because they are loading up on the inside on us.
All right, thanks, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you very much, Bret. The score is 7 for Wabash, 6 for the Tigers from DePauw. We'll be right back.
And there you see it, the Monon bell. And Coach, you've coveted that bell for many, many years now. And exactly when you see that bell, there are some thoughts I'm sure come to your mind. What would those be?
I'm laughing, but I think of a nice, warm, cool winter in Greencastle, Indiana. That's what I'm thinking about. It is more than just a game when we play Wabash. Obviously, our alumni, our student body, our administrators, and everybody are involved in this game. And so I would say what it means to me, it means everything athletically. This is, Kevin, as I said before, this is what it is all about.
We're at halftime, and both teams are back out on the field. Wabash is going to get the ball to start off this second half. If you'll recall, they deferred in the first half of play. And if you don't think Coach Moroz has had a few words of inspiration for his Tigers in the locker room, then you're mistaken. These guys want to keep that bell here, and they are down right now by 1 point, and there's no reason why they shouldn't be on top in this football game, Coach.
Well, that's hindsight now. It's behind us. Now, what we have to do right now is we have to do a great job of containing Paget, and their new tailback, Cogan, coming into the game has put a new dimension on the game. So we're going to have to stop him to win this football game. And one of the things, the most crucial thing I think we have to do to win this game in the second half is get Terry Dickey into the flow of things. He's going to have to make some big plays. In the first half, it was all static, but Dickey is the one that is capable of making the big play.
Terry Dickey in his career against Wabash has never had a game when he has not run for more than 100 yards. Since he was a freshman, he ran for 120 yards. As a sophomore, 145. Last year, he got 112. When Terry Dickey crosses the 100-yard barrier, it basically means DePauw wins the game. So Terry Dickey needs to get a few more yards out there. He has had a superb game so far. He's had a lot of efforts on his offense. As you see, Brian Goodman not having too bad of a day either. He's been able to get 1 touchdown pass. He's 3 out of 7 for 28 yards, while Bill Paget has had a pretty good day as well, as he has not had that much time to do what he's had a chance to do, and he's only thrown 5 passes, completed 4 of them for 50 yards, and has his team on top right now. One of those passes was a very big play to Chris WIESEHAN that went for 33 yards. Jason Petrovich kicks the ball off to start the second half. It's picked up in the backfield by George Leno, very near to his own goal line. He takes it across the 40-yard line, across the 50, almost down to the 50-yard line, to the 47, where he's brought down by Todd Robbins. He actually picked the ball up rather short. It was about the 20 or 25-yard line when he got it, and was able to break through the defense from DePauw to get up to about the 47-yard line. We'll take a look at that play again.
kickoff, fields it real clean on the first hop, takes off down the left sideline. He's awfully fast, probably runs a 4.44 or a 4.540. And we were just lucky because we were just probably one man away from going the distance there. They have great field position right now, Wabash.
Bill Padgett under center as he starts out the second half by giving the ball to David Kogan. And Wabash is effective on their first play. About a 4 or 5 yard pickup by Dave Kogan. Time begins to tick away in the second half of play as Wabash has the ball first, and they immediately start out the second half by crossing the midfield line and giving the ball to David Kogan, who carries the ball forward for what we're going to call officially 4 yards gain on the play. DePauw's defense really needs to tighten up now. If they could come out and get the momentum back in DePauw's favor early by stopping Wabash on their first drive, it would really help the Tiger cause. Padgett looks over the line of scrimmage, takes the snap, drops straight back, throws the ball over the middle. Looked like it was going to be intercepted. I almost started to say it because it looked like it was going to be such an obvious catch. Teej Lewis had the ball go right in and out of his hands. That was a duck that was up for grabs. Bob Brady was nowhere near that pass, and it was an easy opportunity for the Tigers to get an interception.
When I was coaching, Kevin, they used the term that that pass hit him in a bad place, right in the hands. I think that Padgett made a very bad choice. He just threw it up. The pressure wasn't that great, I don't think. He just put it up down the middle. We should have intercepted this ball. That was a big play for us. We're going to have to put pressure on Padgett right now.
Tigers going to try and get it back. 3rd down and 6. Trying to stop Wabash on their first drive of the second half. And there's a big sack in the backfield. And you know who that is? Number 98, Al Hackbarth. Is he back or is he back? He sacks Bill Padgett in the backfield. A huge loss. He's been out for the last 4 games with a knee problem and comes back in a big way by getting a crucial sack.
That's a great story. Hackbarth has not played for the last 6 games. He's going to have surgery in 2 weeks. He has a ligament damage, and he's been training and working out hard just so he can play in this game. And he's affectionately known as Sarge. But I'll tell you, as long as he keeps playing like that the rest of this game, Wabash is going to have a hard time getting those balls off.
Terry Dickey stands at his own 28-yard line, awaiting the punt. It comes down to Dickey at about the 25. He tries to avoid a couple of tacklers, does so, picks up about 5 yards, and then he's finally brought down, and here comes the Tiger offense. Coach, what would you say would be the most important thing DePauw needs to do on this first drive?
Well, the first thing we're going to have to do is start eating up some of the clock. Keep that Wabash offense off the field. We're going to have to run the ball effectively, and like I said at the beginning of the second half, I think we're going to have to get Dickey more involved in the offense real quick.
Brian Goodman under center. He's going to have to step up his role in this offense a lot more in this half. He gives it immediately to Stadler, who avoids several tacklers, still on his feet, still fighting for more yards, to the 37-yard line. Looks like a 5-yard pickup. We mentioned Brian Goodman. If he can start to get on and start throwing some passes, it'll relieve some pressure from Dickey and Stadler, as they will be able to be freed up for more runs because the rest of DePauw's or Wabash's defense will have to be keying more on Goodman. Goodman walks up to this line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 4 yards to go. A big play on the last one there by Stadler as he's able to get 6 yards. Gives the Tigers a little bit more breathing room. Flags down on the play. The handoff goes to Terry Dickey. He fights inside a couple of Wabash tacklers. There's a fumble on the play. Flags all over the place. Wabash has the ball. Wabash has the ball, but there's a flag down. We've got a legal motion. No, the play never, as far as the officials are concerned, took place because they whistled it dead before it started. There was a movement in the backfield. I believe it was Jason Stadler as he hopped forward just a little bit before the snap. I think they're going to give the ball to Wabash. They initially said that it was going to be for the Tigers, but Coach Nick can't believe it. There's a lot of discussion going on the sideline, and it looked like they initially had blown the ball dead before the play took place, but they're going to say the fumble did indeed happen. As Dickey loses the ball at the 50-yard line, it's Wabash ball, 1st down and 10, and does that hurt?
That was a big mistake. Again, Wabash has the ball at midfield, great field position. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come right out of the box now and throw deep.
A lot of discussion going on among the referees. Wabash's offense is on the field while DePauw's defense awaits. We're going to have 1st down and 10. 1st down and 10 for Wabash. The 50-yard line. So the play stands as called. One man in the backfield, that's Dave Kogan. Right there is Bill Padgett to give him the ball on the handoff. Kogan fights right side, doesn't get much. Now we're down to 12:48 to go in the third. It's Wabash on top 7-6, trying to add to their lead. They have the ball and trying to drive for another touchdown. Al Hackbarth and Tim Hedrick were there for the stop.
Kevin, let's look for a quick pass in that left flat. They're going to probably work Rico Terrell's over there, but they're going to probably work on the left side of that formation.
Wabash with some of their best starting position for a drive in this entire game, as they've been averaging about the 15-yard line. They start this drive at the 50-yard line, where they're successful starting there as they get their first down here. Crossing the 40-yard line, gets it very near to the 35 on a nice pass play. That pass was complete to Craig Hardesty from Bill Padgett. So Padgett is back on track here in the second half. Sidra Arnold is in the crowd somewhere, and we're going to try and find her. Take it away, Sidra.
Feimster. In 1966, he kicked the game-winning field goal. Tell us about that, Tim.
Well, it was a day like today almost. We were behind actually 7-6 late in the game, and we got a long pass down the middle of the field to Billy Lehman, and finally on fourth down, 30 seconds to go in the game, we kicked the field goal to win it, 9-7. Great day.
That must have been great.
It was.
Now back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, Sidra. The ball rests at the 33-yard line. It's second down and what we're going to call 7 yards to go for our first down. Wabash is on the drive. They're in DePauw territory. The Tiger defense has got to batten down the hatches at this point. They must tighten up. Wabash's offense is on the roll. Bill Padgett is under center. The senior quarterback drops back. He tosses it in the flat over to Bob Brady. Brady crosses the 30, almost to the 25-yard line on a quick out that is successful for Wabash. Gets them closer to the first down, if not the first down itself. We're going to take a look, as it's very close to being a first down for Wabash, as the officials are indicating that they made it, but we might have a measurement regardless. Here's the play.
Just a quick pass in the flat, two-step drop, and we were playing in the zone defense, backed off and gave him just a little bit too much room.
It is a first down. It's on the 25-yard line. The Tigers awaiting the Wabash offense. It's a Monon Bell game here. The Tigers have had it in Greencastle for 4 years, and Wabash trying to bring it back to Crawfordsville. Bill Padgett takes the snap and gives it to David Kogan. He crosses the 20-yard line. More big yardage for Wabash.
Kevin, they're taking some awfully big splits in their lines, and we're taking those splits with them, and they're just ISO blocking one-on-one, and he's cutting it back, and he's making some good running judgments there.
Bret Baier's down on the sideline. Bret, take it away.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm here with Mr. Hackbarth. As we said, Al Hackbarth had a knee injury early on in the year, and he seems to have a great game now. What do you think?
Well, hopefully he'll have a good game. He's got a serious, he has to have his knees scoped after this game, but hopefully everything will turn out right. Let's wish DePauw on to a victory today.
All right, back to you, Kevin.
Thank you very much, Bret. And as you can see by this drive, they are doing exactly what the Tigers did to Wabash to start the football game. They're just shoving it down DePauw's throat, running the ball every single time. We just saw another play by David Kogan that gives Wabash another first down as the ball's on the 15-yard line. Until DePauw can prove they can stop that run, I have a feeling that Coach Carlson of Wabash is going to keep going with the coach.
Kid's a great cutback runner, and I think he's going to carry it again right on first down.
Looks like Padgett's going to try and pass this time. He's on the rollout. He's going to take it himself. He's hit big. John Perry was right there and was right in Bill Padgett's face and hurt him. Really hit him hard. I don't know that Padgett even got back to the line of scrimmage, but he sure did take a big shot from JP. And John Perry is running out of the game, holding his arm. That's not good. He is on the sideline. John Perry is hurt, and Rex Call is attending to him. We'll take a look and see if we can't tell what happened to John on that play.
Second down. Coming up. Padgett just swept to the left there, and they picked him up. Here we go. Roll out to the right.
Bill Padgett on the roll. He gets the ball off to Hardesty, who falls out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Nobody over there defending against the Wabash pass attack as they're able to get the ball even closer to the goal line. That's another very close to a first down. Wabash is handling DePauw's defense very effectively right now as they're driving at will. There looks to be a flag down on the play. We'll have to check and see what the indication is. Bill Padgett is going over to check out the the mark of the football, it's going to be very, very close.
This is a very, very crucial defensive stand for DePauw University. I believe it's going to be a 1st and 10. It's going to be first on the 5, and you know that Cogan's going to be carrying the ball, and they should be in a power I formation. We're going to have to stop this run on 1st down. This 1st down play will be very important.
It is indeed a 1st down. It's 1st down and goal.
If I was coaching defense at this time, we'd have 9 men up on that line of scrimmage. We'd dare them to pass the ball.
Kogan brings the play in to Bill Padgett. The Tigers with their backs against the wall, so to speak. It's on the 5-yard line, 1st down and goal. 9:38 on the clock. In the 3rd quarter, Wabash already is on top 7-6 over the Tigers. And here's Bill Padgett under center. Takes the snap, gives it to Kogan. He tries right side. Crawls forward to about the 4-yard line, and first hit was by Matt Nelson as the clock continues to tick. John Perry appears to be okay. He's going back into the game.
Kevin, one of their favorite plays down here, if they were to pass the ball, would be a quick slanting pass, either to the right or left end, one of the flankers, and just try a quick slanting pass real fast here.
We'll try and get down to Bret Baier as soon as we can to check out what the situation is on the sideline after this play. It's Bill Padgett. Under center, the quarterback of Wabash. He is looking to take the snap from his center. He does so, looks over the middle, throws the ball, complete for a touchdown. Chris WIESEHAN, touchdown Wabash. 7-6 was the score. Let's make it 13-6. Wabash on top by 7 points right now, as the Tigers now are down.
As I mentioned before, just previously, that their favorite play is just to throw the slanting pass, and he's a very good passer doing this, and he puts it right on the money. It's a good percentage pass.
Now the extra point try, and it would really help the Tigers out if they could block this extra point attempt by Brian Rising. Holding the ball is Mike Warren. It's down, it is blocked. It's blocked by Rico Taylor, and Teej Lewis picks it up. He's running down the right sideline. He can go for a touchdown if he makes it, but he will not make it. That is a huge play. The Tigers desperately needed to block that extra point, and they do so. A great play by Rico Terrell, and a better run. That Teej Lewis carries it down to the 40-yard line. A great play. 13-6 is the score here at Blackstock Stadium. We'll be right back.
Okay, before that Wabash score, we saw John Perry get hurt. I'm here with Rex Call, the athletic trainer. Anything serious, Rex?
No, John had what we call a stinger, and usually stinger takes 2 to 3 minutes to resolve, and then it's no problem as far as for the rest of the game.
Right, so he'll be back in.
He'll be back in the game, yeah.
Right, that's the news. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks, Bret. We're ready for the kickoff now as Wabash on top 13-6 on the last scoring drive, covered 49 yards in 7 plays. They took up 4 minutes, 1 second of this 3rd quarter of play. The kickoff is caught by Marks as he carries the ball across the 25-yard line, almost to the 27. Aaron Marks with the kickoff reception and subsequent return as he gives the Tigers some decent field position as they start out now on the 28-yard line. 8:50 on the clock. Wabash on top 13-6, but the Tigers are just able to block an extra point attempt, which evens things up as the Tigers have already had one blocked as well. DePauw on the drive immediately. We see Goodman pitch the ball to Jason Stadler as he almost gets the first down, as he gets a big 10-yard gain. A great job.
Just a simple quick pitch to Jason. Get him outside real fast because they have that bubble in there on defense. They're real tight up inside. And a quick pitch to Jason off the pro formation. Dickey faked the other way, which takes a linebacker with him, and it's wide open, and he goes for 11 yards.
You know, Jason Stadler is very tough, and he hits very hard, but he is also one of the fastest guys on this football team, and his speed has helped him today as he's been able to get 114 yards. Terry Dickey is the next one to catch it.
It's over.
Puts on some great moves. Puts on some great moves. He goes across the 25 to the 20, 15 down to the 10, and he's finally run out of bounds at the 6-yard line. What an unbelievable run by Terry Dickey. He takes it from his own 39-yard line the other way to the opposing 6. And I've never seen moves like that play. That was a great run by Terry Dickey. Wow. Unbelievable by Terry Dickey as he just found the seam in the defense and then he did everything else on his own.
As I mentioned at the beginning of the second half, Terry's going to have to take charge, and that time he did take charge. That's a senior. Last game, makes a great move, cuts it back to the outside, sheer speed, great open field running, down to the floor. Now let's keep from making mistakes and we'll take care of business here.
Brian Goodman is under center power I formation in the backfield right behind him. Handoff goes to Jason Stadler. He tries to change directions and can't get much yardage. Terry Dickey now has had 13 carries for 103 yards, and that makes him now, in his career against Wabash, he's never had a game under 100 yards. Great effort by Terry Dickey on the last play. And if you don't think that takes the wind out of Wabash's sails, you got another thing coming is Wabash is just really down on the other sideline right now. You see their coaching staff and you see their players. Their crowd is not moving. That was a huge play by Dickey, not only for himself, but for the entire team and their momentum and confidence. Goodman under center. He's going to roll out pass here. He throws it off to Jason Stadler. He catches it at the 3, and he gets the touchdown. Touchdown Tigers. Great effort by Jason Stadler to fight forward for the touchdown. The Tigers now 13-12 is your score after a great pass play from Brian Goodman to Jason Stadler. Touchdown Tigers.
Just a simple rollout pass, Stadler in the flat, pro formation, rollout by Goodman. He had a strong backside rush on that play, but Goodman got the ball off, got it to Stadler. He took it in the end zone. I think he carried 2 or 3 people in himself. A great play by Goodman and a great run by Stadler. Again, I have to repeat, this is an important extra point. That's understated, I guess.
You said it. This is a very important extra point. The Tigers being down by 1 point, if they were not to make this, it would hurt them very bad. Taking the optimistic outlook, though, Mike Junta is very successful generally with his extra points, and it's blocked. That's the second one he's had today that has been blocked, and it looked like he just slipped on the play. So the Tigers are hurt very bad by that. They're down by 1. It's 13-12. Sidra Arnold is back down in the stands. We'll go down to her. Take it away, Sidra.
I'm here with Alan Hill, and he has his own Monon Bell story to tell. Tell us about your game.
Well, my most memorable experience was in 1981. We'd lost to Wabash 3 years in a row, and they come right down the field on us and drive all the way down the 4-yard line. And all I remember is thinking, oh my goodness, here we go again. Well, we stuff them 3 times in a row. 3 downs in a row, we stuff them. But then they have to kick the extra point. And all I remember is going in, blocking the field goal. And that's what it was all about, because we turned our momentum around and went 9-1 and beat Wabash that game. That's the best thing that happened. That's my most memorable experience.
All right.
All right.
Okay, back to you, Kevin.
Thank you very much, Sidra. The scoring drive for the Tigers, 4 plays, 72 yards, and they did it fast. It only took them 1 minute and 23 seconds to do it. Goodman finishes off the drive with a 6-yard pass play to Jason Stadler, but as you can tell by the score, the Tigers down by 1 point. They could potentially be on top by 1 point. They've now missed 2 extra points, which is very uncharacteristic of Mike Junta, as he generally is a successful kicker when just kicking those extra points. However, there is a little bit of wind out there, and under the conditions, the field's just a little bit slick, lost his footing on the last one and kicked the ball into the offensive line, and it was never had a chance. The Tigers down by 1. They did, however, show that they're back. They looked a little bit down, and the momentum is back on their side after that touchdown. 13-12 the score as they're able to counter a Wabash touchdown with one of their own. 7:33 on the clock as we prepare for Jason Petrovich to kick the ball off. So with the score 13-12, we've got 7 minutes and 33 seconds to go in the third quarter. We'll be right back.
All right, I tell you what, I'm here on the sidelines, and down here, they're getting fired up again. It's been an emotional roller coaster, up and down. Terry Dickey's run was incredible. The blocked field goal and the blocked extra point was tough. DePauw's ready to come back. Back to you, Kevin.
Jason Petrovich to make the kickoff. 7:33 to go in this third quarter of play. The Tigers are down by 1. It's 13-12. Wabash takes the kickoff from Petrovich. There's a fumble on the play, but David Kogan is able to catch the ball after it was knocked loose. He had a little problem catching the ball there for a little bit. Then he finally picked it up, started to run, was hit, coughed it up, caught the ball back in his own arms, and finally falls down. So a lot of to do, but about nothing. We'll take a look at that one as kind of a wild play. The Tigers now have Wabash starting on their own 26-yard line. Not that great a starting position.
It's a squib kick. had a hard time getting hold of the ball. When he did get a hold of it, he got hit by 3 or 4 people. They were fortunate to come out of there by retaining the ball. I think this DePauw defense right now has got to start taking charge and stopping that tailback and putting pressure on Padgett. Real fast, or we're going to be in trouble. We've got to get after him right now.
Coach, I agree with you. David Kogan goes up the middle, and he immediately tries to try that defensive line of the Tigers again, and this time they're true to the test as they stop Kogan after a 3-yard pickup. They tried that left side of the offensive line. It's a big side. The offensive line over there is anchored by Peter Horvath and Andy Dorrell. Those two are some big individuals.
Look for
down and 7.
Look for a rollout pass in the flat. Quick pass out. Passing situation right here.
Bill Padgett takes the snap. He drops straight back. He looks left. He throws it over the middle. A big hit as Bob Brady had the ball in his hands, but John Perry, and everybody knows that JP can hit people. John Perry just flattened him, knocked the ball free, and it's an incompletion. 3rd down and 7. A great defensive effort by the middle linebacker, John Perry, a senior out of Weston, Massachusetts.
First of all, I'd like to, before we continue, I'd like to say hi to Jim Kelly out in Tucson, Arizona, the man who made this Monon Bell broadcast possible. Thanks a lot, Jim. Jim's our chairman of the board of trustees. Now let's get back to stopping Wabash.
Wabash has the ball. The ball is at their 29-yard line. Padgett's back to pass. He's got all kinds of time. He's taking it on his own. Picks up the 1st down. He's a great runner. If he's flushed out of the pocket, he can move. And he does so as he breaks across the 35-yard line up to the 41, brought down by Paul Bickle.
I don't want to keep saying it was a big play. This is a big play. That's a big play. But in this game, every play is a big play. And on 3rd down and 8, when he picks that 1st and 10 up, that really took DePauw out of good field position right there.
1st down and 10 for the Little Giants at this point. WIESEHAN on the right side, Snively on the left. The handoff goes in the backfield to Bob Brady. He tries to fight forward, does so for a little bit, but then finally brought down by the interior defensive line. We had a big hit that time by Jeff Edmonds on that D-line as he brings down Kogan after a 3-yard pickup. 6:06 to go in the 3rd quarter. Tigers are down by 1 at 13-12. That defensive line for the Tigers has been tested all day long as Wabash has really gone to the running attack. But the thing about this offense from Wabash is that they're very balanced and they can threaten with either one of their passing or running game at any time. This time they try the passing attack, but Padgett can't find any open receivers, takes it on his own, and doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. A loss of 1 on the play. Good pursuit by Edmonds and Hackbarth on that defensive line, Coach.
Yeah, DePauw University is putting good pressure on Wabash right now. One of the things they're doing is they're shooting their linebackers. John Perry came shooting up there across the field. He's rushing the passer on a late rush, and we're doing a good job of putting pressure on Padgett. I think right now what we're going to see is him roll out to the left, to his left.
3rd down and 7. Padgett under center. 1 man in the backfield. That's Brian Zimmer. Padgett looks left-hand side, throws it to Snively. He avoids getting hit very, very big, but he gets the 1st down anyway. Right there for the stop was Zimfer and Nelson. However, it is Snively making the catch. He gets a 1st down, and Wabash rolls on. 5:04 to go in the 3rd quarter, and Wabash continues to drive. We'll take a look at that play. It was great execution and a really good catch in high traffic by Eric Snively.
Just a simple curling pass by the wide receiver, Snively, sophomore. Good receiver, excellent speed.
Both Snively and WIESEHAN started as freshmen. They're in their 2nd year of experience, and they're both very tough, very quick, and hard to bring down. Padgett back to pass. He finds Snively again, this time at the 31-yard line. He's wrestled down by Teej Lewis. And Wabash continues to hurt DePauw with those short passes.
Well, what's happening, they're hurting us with these short passes, but right now Wabash has us in a situation where they're both running the ball and passing the ball. So our defense, we can't set up. We can't get them in there at 2nd down and 9, 2nd and 8, and they're starting to throw the ball on 1st down. DePauw's going to have to set their defenses accordingly.
1st down and 10. The ball rests at the 32-yard line. Wabash has been having a very well-executed drive. The DePauw defense needs to tighten up. The pitch goes to Kogan. He jumps over the top of Bull Jacobs and fights forward to the 26-yard line. Another big pickup brought down by John Perry again.
Right now, DePauw's going to have to force a fumble. They're going to have to do something. They're going to have to make a big play because right now, Wabash's offense has us reeling right now. And we've been out there quite a bit this third quarter. They started off in the third quarter, moved down and scored. Now they're moving down again. I'm hoping this is not wear and tear on our defense. We're going to have to start making a big play or forcing this quarterback into some mistakes.
Second down and 6. Paget hands it to Kogan. He's up the middle. He's got running room. He's across the 20, across the 15, down to the 13-yard line. First down for Wabash, and another spectacular run by the freshman from Zionsville, Indiana. David Kogan having a great game in his first Monon Bell effort.
Nothing fancy we're going to see here, just a straight up the middle buck, one-on-one blocking. He's doing a great job of moving to the open field. I mean, he's reading his blockers real well, and it's just a lot of this yardage he's making on his own.
Bill Paget ducks under his center one more time. 3 men on the left-hand side looking for a pass play. Obvious passing situation, but they're going to pitch it. They try to go to Kogan. He's being chased down by Jacobs. He's finally brought down for a huge loss. Great effort by the DePauw defense. Paul Bickel is there. Mark Zimfer is there. And Kogan is brought down for a loss. Finally, they found a way to stop David Kogan.
Well, they tried to sweep him, which is unusual. That's the first time I've seen them try to do that. And DePauw was playing for the run, and they had everybody up close, and that was a bad choice of plays. But I think right now what we're going to see is a pass out here to the right, or maybe some type of pass in the left side, just behind our quarterback.
Kogan has now run the ball 19 times for 78 yards. Paget back to pass. He throws right side. He's got a man open. That's Chris WIESEHAN. He's brought down by Rico Terrell at the 10-yard line. Not enough for a first down. That's going to make it third down, make that for the Wabash Little Giants. We'll take a look at that play.
Paget looks off to the left, and he turns and goes back to the right, and we have a Wabash receiver here isolated on Rico. Rico did a good job just to make the tackle.
If there's one thing about Bill Paget, he can read a defense, and he knows when his open man is not, or his primary receiver is not open. He knows where everybody else is on the field. He's a very intelligent player. He carries a 3.7 grade point average at Wabash. He's a very intelligent quarterback. He's going to pass again. He drops back, nowhere to go. He dumps it over the middle to Kogan, and Kogan is hit hard by Greg Jacobs. Kogan picks up about 3 yards. Still not enough for the first down. That's going to make it fourth down and short for Wabash.
Well, they're going to send in the field goal kicking team. For all intents and purposes, DePauw University is coming out of this in good shape. That was a good stand. Once they got that ball to the 10 and we held, I think we're going to be in good shape. Now, we blocked the last one. I just hope that everybody's on side. Don't get carried away. We want no mistakes down here.
Brian Rising may be thinking about that blocked extra point, and you know something's going through his mind right now. We'll see if the DePauw Tigers can get to him again. The kick is up. He hooks it off to the left, but it sneaks past the goalpost and through the uprights for the field goal, which makes it a 4-point ball game. 16-12 is your score now, as a very good effort on the field goal try and conversion by Brian Reason. So with the score 16-12, Wabash is on top. We'll be right back.
Hello there. I'm a management fellow, and I spent 6 months at an advertising agency in Denver. And I'm here with Tom Bose, the director of the Management Fellows program. Tell us about the football players who are in that program.
Well, I'm especially excited as a former DePauw football player that 5 of the starters on the defense today are Management Fellows. Tom Beaulieu, who did his internship at Eli Lilly in Indianapolis, Matt Nelson, who worked for Goldman Sachs in Chicago, Greg Jacobs at Northern Trust in Chicago, and Paul Bickel at Bank One, and Mike Thomas, who gets to choose next week Arthur Anderson at Northern Trust for his internship.
That's great. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks a lot, Sidra. We're ready for the kickoff here. The score 16-12. The scoring drive on the last one was 80 yards covered in 13 plays, 6 minutes, 19 seconds to do it. A field goal by Brian Rising was the difference, 23 yards worth. Terry Dickey with an outstanding kickoff return as he fights it all the way to the 41-yard line. A great effort by Terry Dickey again, and we said he's good for more than just running the ball. He can also catch it. He has been known to pass a ball or two, and he can have a lot of kickoff and punt returns, so he is good for a lot of things. He picked up the ball and really did well, Coach.
Well, first of all, the mistake Wabash made was kicking the ball to him, and after that, they're in big trouble. I think that if they have to kick off again, it definitely will not be toward Terry Dickey.
First down and 10 for the Tigers on their own 41-yard line. The handoff goes to Stadler. He goes up the middle, and I think maybe he got 1 yard. Maybe not even that much. He didn't get very far. Wrapped up by the interior defensive line. On the bottom of the pile was Kenyatta Brame, a defensive tackle from Kenya. He did an overseas internship last year and did not play in this game because he was in Kenya. He's a 3.6 student, a very intelligent kid. Brian Goodman under center. He's only got 1 yard on that last, or 2 yards on that last play. So he's got second down and 8. Goodman under center, gives it off to Jason Stadler. He tries right, or left side, I should say. He's wrapped up again by Kenyatta Brame. And also at the bottom of the pile was Bill Kepler. Not much of a pickup. We'll call it 4 yards. 4 yards, or I should say third down and now 6. Only a pickup of 2 yards on the play. So Goodman up to the center. Two men splitting the backfield for the Tigers. They've got a third down. Goodman back to pass. He's got to unload the ball. He's going to get sacked. He throws it over the middle for Terry Dickey, who could not get there in time. And Brian Goodman barely averted getting what would have been like a 20-yard sack. In the backfield harassing him was Eric Shuttle. That's the end of the third quarter of play. The Tigers now on fourth down. The score is 16-12. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Okay, now it's fourth quarter. Here on the sidelines, Coach Nick was talking to the offensive line, trying to make up holes for Dickey and Stadler, misdirection plays, try to mix it up. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks a lot, Bret. The DePauw offense has come off the field. The punt team is on the field. It's now fourth down, and we'll call it 6 yards to go. Matt Roussel is into punt. Standing deep at his own 15-yard line is Chris WIESEHAN. Roussel takes the snap. They're coming after him. He gets it away, and it is a beautiful punt. Wow, it comes down to the 10-yard line where WIESEHAN downs it. Wabash comes onto the field with not very good field position, and a lot of credit goes to Matt Roussel, a sophomore out of Fort Wayne Dwenger High School up there in Fort Wayne. Nice job. We'll take a look at that punt. It was so beautiful. Wow.
Wabash puts pressure right up the middle on him. Keeps his composure. It was a great snap. Someone let someone come through there clean. Kept his eye on the ball. Good stroke, and away we go. It's on the 10-yard line. DePauw's going to have a little more intensity right now. Let's get with it, guys.
This would be a great opportunity to stuff Wabash deep in their own territory and get DePauw the ball back with some good field position. Tiger defense must come through. The snap taken by Paget. He gives to Kogan. Kogan tries right side. He carries about 4 guys with him as he picks up about 3 yards. On the bottom of the stack there was John Perry. Great story about John Perry. Last year, he was a lot like Al Hackbarth. He got hurt midway through the season, was unable to play, basically could hardly walk. Walked onto the field against Wabash last year at Crawfordsville with his knee wrapped about as big as 3 of my legs put together, and goes out there and makes about 18 tackles. So he is a kid who just loves to play in this football game and loves to play football, and playing in his last collegiate game today. And putting in a great effort, I might add.
Well, don't be surprised to see Paget go deep here. We're leading. DePauw's in a halves defense.
Back to pass is Paget. He rolls out to the left side and throws it to Craig Hardesty, and they're going to say it is no completion. They're going to say Hardesty trapped the ball. The officials got over there to look at it right away. We're going to see if we can't tell by our replay. Hardesty is pleading his case. We'll take a look. Coach, what do you see here?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm glad we don't have instant replay here, that we could reverse these calls, because it's awfully close.
It's too tough to tell from that angle.
Indecisive, right?
We've got another angle, and I tell you what, he may have caught that pass. Who knows? We're not going to discredit the officials. They say it's incomplete. It's third down and 8.
Big play. Big play.
We're in the fourth quarter. At the change of ends at the end of the third quarter, every DePauw player had their 4 fingers up in the air. They know that this quarter is very important, and it's their last one of the season. Pass over the middle from Paget to Eric Snyder.
Look out.
Incredible catch, and he's still going. He ran away from 3 DePauw defenders, finally gets down to the 45-yard line. Finally brought down on the play by Todd Robbins at the 45-yard line, and there's a flag on the play. Flags all over the place. So I think we're going to have a late hit against Wabash. As Robbins was getting up after bringing down Snively, he was run over. We're going to take a look. We do have a penalty on the play.
Paget rolls back. throws a great pass. Defensive back overran it. He's in the clear. I thought maybe he could go all the way. He had good pursuit.
And you can definitely see that well after the play was over, there was an obvious late hit. I think the one that did it was Sean Lyons. He's an offensive tackle, and that not only causes a penalty, but it also sets back and kind of knocks the air out of what was an incredible play and really had Wabash fired up. It sets them back 15 yards, so call it first down and 25. First down and 25 for Wabash. Careless errors by Wabash costing them right here. We'll see if they can't make up for it. They've got to go 25 yards to get a first down. Bill Padgett comes up to the line of scrimmage with a long way to go. Obvious passing situation for the Little Giants. They're going to go with the pitch, however. They try to go to Kogan. He doesn't get too far. He gets up to almost to the 34-yard line. About a 4-yard pickup, if that. We got third quarter statistics. Wabash was able to get 9 first down. You see the Tigers not too effective, only with 2. The big difference there was in the turnover that DePauw had. They caused that 1 turnover, and also in the time of possession. Wabash had it for almost the entire quarter. 12 minutes of that first quarter taken up by the Little Giants with the ball. However, the Tigers able to score the touchdown, but they missed the extra point. The difference is 4 points right now, 16-12 in favor of Wabash. Second down and 21.
We're going to have to play pass defense here.
Tigers have the nickel package in there, 5 defensive backs in. Bill Padgett lost one up in the air, possible interception, and Rico Terrell does it. He makes his second interception of the game. A great defensive effort. Padgett dropped back and just lofted that one up in the air. It was up for grabs. That ball seemed to be in the air forever, and Terrell runs right underneath it and makes a great play for the Tigers.
Again, Padgett makes a bad choice. He rolls out. He's left-handed. He has to turn. He throws the ball. He just lets it up. I think he was trying to work on the zone, but then we had double coverage there. They made a great interception.
There were 3 DePauw defensive players right there, and Rico Terrell comes up with it, and he's fired up. You can see by his reaction to that interception. That gives the Tiger offense the ball back and gives the DePauw team some offense, some momentum. The play from Goodman goes to Stoudner. Todd Stoudner makes the catch at the 49, crosses midfield, and gets across also a first down and goes out of bounds. Sidra is down on the field. We'll go back down to Sidra Arnold. Take it away, Sidra.
I'm here with Daryl Lindquist. He's the man who wrote the lyrics to the ballad of the Monon Bell, which was the song that you heard at the end of the history of the Monon Bell. Who's singing that song, and what made you write those lyrics?
That's Jimmy Ibbotson from the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. Ibby and I went to school here at DePauw back in, we graduated in '68. And Pat Aikman, the director for publicity at DePauw at the time, came to me and asked me to work on the song with him. And I wrote the lyrics first, and then Ibby wrote the music, or did the recording, and Nancy Ford wrote the music for it.
Great, it's a great song. We all walk around singing it, certainly.
Well, Coach Morosa said that they play right before the team comes out, and if it inspires them to victory, that's all that's important. I know I played in 3 of these games, and I'd like to play right now if I could.
All right, back to you, Kevin.
Thanks, Sidra. The Tigers brought down for a 2-yard loss. Wabash is second in the ICAC in rushing defense, as they're only allowing 98 yards per contest. Finally, they find a way to stop Jason Stadler as they bring him down for a 2-yard loss. Second down and 12. It's Brian Goodman back to pass. He finds Terry Dickey at the 50-yard line. Dickey fights across the 40-yard line. Still not enough to pick up the first down. It's going to be second down at about 4 yards to go, Coach.
Well, my comment is they're doing what they're supposed to be doing right now, and that's get the ball to Dickey. I think this Wabash defensive line is getting a little tired. Get it to him on the outside. They're not going to have that great pursuit. Goodman made a good choice right there, throwing the ball out in the flat. And you can see once he gets the ball, he's moving forward. This man does not run east and west. He is a north and south runner.
Brian Goodman, the sophomore from Milford, Ohio, in his first Monon Bell start at quarterback. Ducks under center, and he takes the snap, throws it out in the flat, and nearly intercepted on the play. Right there for it was Pat Garner as he dove in front of Todd Stoudner, who very nearly had the ball picked off from his hands. Great defensive play by Garner. The Tigers now 4th down and 4 to go, and here comes the punt team. Matt Roussel with a superb punt last time. We'll see if he can't equal that effort on this occasion. The ball's on the 39-yard line. He's going to have to lay off just a little bit to keep it from going into the end zone. Roussel has all kinds of time, angles it toward the corner of the end zone. It's a nice punt, but it goes through and into the end zone. So a touchback which gives the ball to Wabash on their own 20-yard line, first down and 10. Bret Baier is again down on the sidelines. We'll check back in with Bret. Take it away.
All right, Kevin, I'm here with Aaron Eubank, the school photographer for our school newspaper. Aaron, from what I understand, you know the DePauw plays before they happen. What's the story here?
Yeah, well, a couple guys on the line will tell me what they're going to run, like where, so I can like move. If it's going to be a running play, I'll line up with the ball or pass them, go downfield so I can get a better angle for the shot.
I'll tell you what, after that last defensive Wabash stand, you haven't been talking to the coaches over there, have you?
No, not really, no.
All right, back to you, Kevin.
Thanks, Bret. David Cogan has the ball on the handoff from Padgett. Goes nowhere. He lost some yardage even. Wrapped up in the backfield by senior Matt Nelson, playing in his final game as a DePauw Tiger, and it'll be a shame to see him go after this one's over, but it would be a great thing if he could come through with his 4th victory in a Monon Bell game in 4 years.
Well, this thing's getting down to the nitty-gritty, as they say. It's down to 10:44, and we're not going to have that many more opportunities. The defense is going to have to do a strong job, so it depends on stopping Padgett again. That's what it's going to depend on right here.
Padgett is ducked under center, and he rolls back. He throws over the middle. Nice play by Tom Beaulieu as he knocks that ball down. Put his hands up in the air, just like you're taught when you're in 6th grade to do. And Tom Beaulieu, textbook defense right there, puts the hands up when Padgett's going to throw and is able to knock it down, which really helps DePauw because now it's 3rd down and 12.
Coach Reha, the defensive coach, has a decision to make right now. He's thinking right now, should I put the blitz on this quarterback, or should we drop 8 people back, rush 3? He's going to make that decision. I think if you give Padgett too much time, he's going to be trouble for you.
Bill Padgett under center. He's going to try and pass. It's 3rd down and 12. He's flushed out of the pocket. He's on the run. He's brought down from behind. A great stop by Al Hackbarth, is able to chase him down. That makes it 4th down. Great defensive stop by the DePauw defense. Great effort. They deserve a round of applause when they come back over to the sideline because they really came through for DePauw that time. Especially great effort on that play by Al Hackbarth, a guy with a knee that is not altogether working real well, and he's able to chase down Bill Padgett.
I concur with that. We have to stay on sides here.
The punt is blocked by Rico Terrell. It's picked up by Kirk Baier. He's going into the end zone. Touchdown DePauw. Touchdown Tigers. I can't believe it. Rico Terrell blocks the punt, and into the end zone go the Tigers. Wow. It is pandemonium here at Blackstock Stadium on the DePauw side of the field as the crowd goes crazy. Rico Terrell already with 2 interceptions, already with 5 tackles on the play, on the game I should say, blocks a punt. And an 8-yard return goes into the end zone, and Kirk Ehler gets the touchdown after picking it out of the thin air. Great play by the DePauw punt coverage team.
Is Rico Terrell making big plays or what?
I can't believe it.
Interception, blocking a punt, 2 interceptions, blocking a punt. I'll just make note here for Coach Meyer if he listens to this replay. I know you must be. What are we doing?
We miss another extra point opportunity. The Tigers now have missed 3 extra points in the football game. And Coach, I'd like to know what we're doing.
That was just strictly a low kick. I mean, there was nothing. The hold was good. I thought that everything was set and the blocking was pretty good. I think it was just a low kick.
So the Tigers get lucky and bring the ball into the end zone. They're now on top. It's 18 DePauw, 16 for Wabash. We'll be right back.
Hey there. I'm here with Dave Pedersen, Director of Alumni Programs for DePauw. Tell us about the planning that went into this telecast.
Well, we've got a tremendously loyal set of alumni out there, Sidra. They made the money available for this telecast, and they planned all the telecast parties in 26 cities around the country. We're very proud to be a part of this, and we're very proud of what just happened here in the game that turned the tide. We're very excited. We got to win this game.
All right.
Okay.
And now we're going to
Okay, here I've got Rico Terrell and Kirk Ehler. They teamed up for that touchdown. How'd it feel, guys?
Oh, it was great, man. There's nothing like that. Senior year, we're going to win this bell. It's just a great feeling in the world.
Rico, I'm doing it all for these guys, man. I told Coach we could have it, and we got it. He scored the touchdown. We're going to win this.
You heard it right here. Back up to you, Kevin.
Thanks, Bret. Rico Terrell on the season now has got 3 punt blocks, and finally one of them is picked up and brought in for a touchdown. The Tigers now on top by 2 points, It very well could be 21-16, but really the story of the game for the Tigers' standpoint is the miss of 3 extra points, and those are big because now it makes Wabash within 1 field goal of being in the lead. 9 minutes and 49 seconds are on the clock in one of the most hotly contested, closest Monon Bell games in recent memory. The kickoff is by Jason Petrovich, and the kickoff is received by George Lino. He has some problems handling it. Finally has to fall on the football. He was never able to pick the ball up and run with it, as he finally just decided to fall on it after never really being able to get a handle on it. It's now 1st down and 10 for Wabash, and they are on their own 20-yard line. Starting out here, Coach, what do you expect to see from the Little Giants?
I think that right now Wabash is going to change the tempo of their offense. They're not going to be maybe running that fullback so much on 1st down, but they're going to come out starting throwing the ball. I mean, the clock is 9:44. They're going to start moving the ball maybe through the air a little bit more. Our pass defense is going to have to take charge right now.
Play action fake to Brian Zimmer. Bill Padgett in the backfield fights away from one man, still being chased by John Perry and brought down for a 3-yard loss. The Tigers were all over Bill Padgett. He dropped back and turned around, and there were 3 guys in his face. He fought away from one man and was able to get back over to the 18-yard line. It could have been a very big loss. He got back to the 18, so it's only a 2-yard loss, finally brought down by John Perry.
There's an old saying in defense, Kevin, that quarterback can't throw very well when the big numbers are on the grass. You guys did a good job there.
The defensive line really held up their end of the deal on that one, as they were all over Bill Padgett, broke through the offensive line rather handily, and brought him down for a loss. 2nd down and 12. Padgett's going to pass again. He rolls left. He throws long. Wide open is Eric Snidely, but he's standing out of bounds, and the pass is incomplete. Paul Bickle was right there and probably would have hit Snidely very, very hard had he caught that pass. Luckily, the ball goes out of bounds. The Tigers now, with their defense in position to stop Wabash, it's 3rd down and 12, Coach.
3rd and 12. I tell you what we need most of all right now is a strong pass rush. Make him make a bad choice. Throw that ball quicker than he wants to. If he decides to run it up the middle, stop him, whatever it is, but don't give him time. This kid has a good arm. Don't give him time.
On Bill Padgett's last 3 attempts, he is 0 for 3 with 1 interception. He has been a little bit off here in the last few attempts. He's going to try and pass again. He's trying to work out of the rut. He's hit as the ball is released. Hit on the play by Tom Beaulieu. Also there making a big stop is Al Hackbarth, who is just playing just a game on guts, is really all you can say. The guy has been out for weeks now with a bum knee, can barely run off the field, but he's been doing a great job. Tom Beaulieu also with a superb effort. I think he was the one who made the initial hit. He comes off a GTE Academic All-American on the play, makes the big stop, which stops Wabash. 4th down and 12. Terry Dickey is on the Wabash 45 waiting for the punt. And it's a low punt, and it's going to bounce on the ground. Dickey's going to pick it up at the 43. He slips at the 40 and goes down.
Late hit.
It looked like it might have been a late hit, Coach, but there's no flag on the play.
Well, you have to understand these officials are going to let the troops play today, so to speak, and I think that they're not going to let this game. They're going to let this game be determined by maybe a flag that didn't have to be thrown. Wabash, I think it was probably an honest mistake.
Dickey was definitely.
I don't know. It didn't look that honest to me.
Regardless, the Tigers will have the ball. It's 1st down and 10 on the Wabash 40. Just excellent super field position for the Tigers. Jason Stadler had the ball in his hands for a moment and then lost it. He fumbled the ball, and it's covered up by Wabash. We're going to check it out on the replay. Jason Stadler just never seemed to have the ball in his possession. It was pitched over to him. He just dropped the ball, and it's recovered by Kenyatta Brame. That gives Wabash the ball back, Coach.
What I saw right there is he took his eyes off the ball, and there it is. Big. That was a big, big mistake right there.
Big mental breakdown. The Tigers could have had the ball 1st down and 20 and in Wabash territory. Instead, Wabash has the ball back 1st down and 10 at the 43-yard line. The handoff to Kogan. He runs up the middle, fights for the 1st down, gets inside DePauw territory to the 43-yard line.
One thing we're going to have to keep in mind here, Wabash has a great field goal kicker. Rising is great, and he has great range. And they can change their whole style of offense right now, because what they're going to do is they're going to take the ball and try to grind it up a little bit. The clock is on their side now. They're on our side of the 40.
With that run, Coach, David Kogan now with 100 yards in the football game as a freshman on 23 carries. He's got the ball back again. John Perry wrestles him out of bounds. at the 40-yard line. Time is running down in this game. It is only 8 minutes and 15 seconds to go. We're down to crunch time. The Tigers hold a very slim and very uncomfortable 2-point cushion at this time.
Right now, it's in Padgett's hands, kind of. I think that what they're going to do is, as long as they're only down by 2, that field goal can win the game. I think what we're going to see is them maybe be just a little conservative. They got a great field goal kicker. The only thing that's against them, the wind's in their face.
The Tigers have not been able to stop David Kogan all day, and Wabash has definitely exploited that. They give it back to Kogan, and this time picks up another first down. On second down, he carries the ball 10 yards forward. Inside the DePauw 30-yard line, it's on the 29, first down and 10. Clock is still running. It's crunch time for the Tigers. This offensive drive by Wabash could be the difference in the football game.
Here it goes Kogan again.
Kogan is a lone setback in the backfield. There are 3 wide receivers split wide to the right. Snively is the lone split end on the left side. The pitch to Kogan. He tries right side. He's successful again. He runs over several DePauw tacklers and fights forward for 8 more yards. Kogan is on a mission.
He is running like a man possessed. He's taking that ball, getting outside, just turning it upfield. And our defense right now is not meeting the challenge.
Coach Moroz is on the sidelines looking rather concerned. His defense has not been able to stop the run all day long. Kogan is well above 100 yards by now. Second down and 2. Kogan has gotten 60 yards alone in this half. Bill Padgett under center. Again, Kogan is the lone setback. And they hand it to him again. He goes off right tackle. He gets the first down. He gets almost to the 10-yard line. It's at the 11. First down and 10 for Wabash again. We're going to take another look at it. Coach, describe for us what it is that's making David Kogan so successful in this football game.
Because he can pick his spot. He's just not a straight head runner. He pitched the ball to him, and the first thing he knew, he saw the hole close up the middle, and he moves right to the outside right now. Moved around that block. And then he lowers those shoulders. And he is a strong runner.
He's very fast.
What we're going to have to do right now is we're going to have to stop this man on first down for short yardage. We're going to have to put them in a passing situation. We don't want him to run this ball in there.
Tiger defense looking for a stop of Kogan. They've not been able to do it all day. They'll have a chance here as Kogan gets the handoff. He goes up the middle. John Perry makes first contact. Also, Matt Nelson bumps into him. He fights off both of those and keeps going. He's finally wrestled down just short of the goal line. It's actually at the 4. He gets inside the 5-yard line. We mentioned how Kogan's been doing in the half. He's got 51 yards in this quarter. This quarter alone, he's got 51 yards. David Kogan is the story of the game for Wabash. We've got a timeout by DePauw. Matt Nelson, the defensive captain, is going to come talk things over with Tim Reha, the defensive coordinator of the Tigers. Sidra Arnold is back down in the stands. We'll try and find her. Sidra, take it away.
I'm here with defensive lineman Jim Tomsick. He's going to tell us a story about how he put the game into perspective as a player.
Well, back when we played back in the late 60s, Coach Mott and Coach Katula were on the staff, and it always seemed like they did an excellent job in preparing for the Wabash game. And it seemed like at the beginning of the year, I remember Coach Katula telling us, what would we rather be, 8-1 and lose to Wabash, or 1-8 and beat Wabash? And it always seemed like we wanted to be 1-8 and beat Wabash.
All right, that's a good attitude. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, Sidra. We've been passed along a message to say hello to all the alumni that are gathering in the Brass Monkey Bar in Las Vegas. So hello to all of you folks. I hope you're enjoying the broadcast. DePauw is on top of a very tenuous 2-point lead at this time. 18-16 is your score. The Tigers legitimately could be up by 5 points, but they've missed 3 extra points. This is the 7th play of this drive that has taken up 2 minutes and 25 seconds. And Wabash has gone 39 yards on the drive. Knocking on the door. Kogan takes the snap. He tries the right side, fights his way forward. Touchdown, Wabash. Touchdown, Wabash, as Kogan goes in from 4 yards out. And that puts Wabash on top 22-18.
Just a straight power sweep. And he just runs right over the DePauw cornerback. He just takes the ball and just runs right over him and just gets into the end zone. right now we're not doing a job at all stopping Kogan. He has really impressed me. Just a freshman, great running back.
The frightening thought to know he'll be back for 3 more of these Monon Bell get-togethers. At this time, he's led his team to a 4-point lead as they're on top, 22-18, make it 23-18, as Rising is successful with the extra point. 6 minutes, 6 seconds to go. The Tigers are down by 5. Bret Baier is on the sidelines again. We'll go back to Bret. Take it away.
I tell you what, talk about a hard-hitting ball game. You look at the running backs' helmets on each team. They've got black, they've got red, they've got both colors. It's a hard-hitting ball game down here. It's just DePauw's got to get fired up to come back. Back to you, Kevin.
It's up to the offense. Brian Goodman is the quarterback. He must do the job. This game is on his shoulders right now. You see the scoring drive, 57 yards covered in 7 plays, 2 minutes, 30 seconds of time elapsed, as the Tigers' defense was just unable to stop Kogan. I would not be hard-pressed to say that almost every one of those plays was David Kogan running. 6 minutes, 6 seconds.
Obviously, the difference in the game has been Kevin Kogan. He has definitely taken charge here, and I think that a great deal of his yards, to his credit, have been on his own hook. He's done a great job. The blocking has been good, but he has just taken it to another dimension. He's been running over our backs, running through our linebackers, and we just had one heck of a time stopping him today. Well, there's a lot of time left, Kevin. A lot of time left. Dickey's back there. One mistake here, and everything could change around in a hurry.
Dickey can score a touchdown in a flash, and we've all seen that happen before. There is a lot of time. 6 minutes, 6 seconds to go. If you think about it in perspective, the Tigers get the opening kickoff, get the kickoff here. They go the length of the field and just take up a little bit of time doing it, and they are in very good position.
They're kicking it to their right side of the field. They don't want Dickey to have the ball.
The Tigers are going to have the wind at their back on this drive. They kick the ball. It comes up short. Aaron Marks looks to pick it up. He grabs it at about the 18-yard line. Goes off the right-hand side, has running room, crosses the 40-yard line, across the 50, into Wabash territory at the 45-yard line. Incredible run by Aaron Marks. We talk so much about Terry Dickey and his offensive running prowess, but Aaron Marks just carries the ball the length of the field, not the length of the field, but a huge kickoff return down to the 45-yard line. We'll take a look at that one, Coach.
Once he reaches down and picks it up, I'm sure Wabash is saying that's exactly what we want, but all of a sudden he breaks it to the right, and there's a big hole. Wabash was all in the center of the field, and the first thing you know, he almost broke it for 6.
He was brought down on that play by Chad Kyle. Kyle finally caught up with Marks after a huge kickoff return. The play goes to Dickey right off the first snap of this drive. First down and 10 for the Tigers. Make it 2nd down and 3 as Dickey picks up 7 yards. The ball is at the 40. Nice run by Terry as he avoided several men en route to that nice run. We'll call it officially a 6-yard carry. To repeat, the score is 23-18. Wabash is on top in this football game, but DePauw has the ball back, and they are in Wabash territory.
Stadler's going to be carrying it right now.
Jason Stadler's the lone setback. Goodman hands him the ball. He goes off left guard, doesn't get too far.
Right now, Kevin, we are trying to run the ball up the middle with Stadler from a single back formation, and I will tell you that Wabash is setting their defenses up to stop that. I think that pretty much what we should be doing right now is pitching that ball to Dickey, getting outside that defensive line. This pursuit's going to be, they're a little tired. We want to take advantage of that.
Scott Perkins made the stop for Wabash.
We're going to have to, I think we're going to, I don't know if I'd throw the ball. We got 4 down. See if we go to Stadler again.
There's 7 men on the offensive line of scrimmage for the Tigers. They may give the ball to Stadler. There's a lot of blockers in front of him, but it looks like Goodman's going to try and throw it. He throws it up for grabs, and Steve Broderick can't get there. That hurts the Tigers. That really hurts them, as it was 3rd down and 4. They were deep in Wabash territory. They had more than a good chance to be able to get a first down, and they just cannot complete the pass. It looks like Brian Goodman's going to call timeout. We could potentially see the Tigers go for it on 4th down. That would be the play of the game if they did. It would be very important. That play's behind us, though. It's 4th down and 3 yards to go for the Tigers. Crunch time, Coach.
Well, Nick's got to have to make a decision. Does he go for the 1st and 10? And if he don't make it, he has bad field position. Wabash is going to probably try to grind the clock down. And what I see right now is that DePauw doesn't have any timeouts. I think we may have 1 timeout left, so Wabash is going to be able to take advantage of the clock. So if we go for it, this will be Well, again, I've said it 1,000 times today. It'll be a very, very big play.
We've had a lot of big plays, but if they go for it, it would be the biggest one of the game, and the Tigers are indeed going to give it a shot. You see the yards passing in the game, that's the difference. Wabash with 149, DePauw with inside of 60 yards passing. The rushing game has belonged to DePauw, however, 227 yards amassed by our running game. Stadler and Dickey have gone over 100 yards together for the 3rd time this season. Both of them are over 100 in the game. This is it. 4th down and 3rd.
Look for Dickey out of the backfield over the middle, or Stadler in the flat.
Shotgun formation. They're going to give it to Terry Dickey, and he wants to throw it. They throw it back to Brian Goodman, and the ball is deflected. A trick play by the Tigers and a heads-up defensive play by Eric Shuttle. Knocks the pass away from Brian Goodman, who could have easily run in for a touchdown. There was nobody near him at all. We'll take a look at this play.
The Wabash defensive man stayed home, and he just tipped it. It would have been a 1st and 10.
It could have been a touchdown, Coach. There was no one between Goodman and the end zone. You see Shuttle right there at the last second. It was if he got anything on it, was maybe his pinky. He barely deflected that ball, but it's enough to give Wabash the ball back. 1st down and 10. Wabash with the snap. Padgett gives it off to Kogan again. Kogan fights forward, wrapped up by John Perry and Tom Beaulieu. Those two have been at almost every single tackle we've seen this half. Just those two players having a superb effort today. Sidra Arnold back down in the stands. We'll check her out. Sidra, take it away.
I'm down here with Tom Underwood, and he played with the 1981 team.
Right.
Tell us about what you think this game is coming down to.
Defense. All great games come down to defense. If they don't stop them here, it's all over. They must crush them.
All right, and there you have a final word. Back to you, Kevin.
On the 2nd down play, the Wabash Little Giants tried the right side again, and the defense was there. So that makes it a 3rd down and 8 situation, as Wabash is unable to get too many yards. Kogan is off the field, and he's limping. He is limping very heavily. We're not sure what the problem is. There are trainers attending to him. You see the camera shot there. Kogan is not feeling well at all. He is hurt, and he's out of the game at this point. That could help DePauw. He has dominated the Tigers in this game. We'll see if Bob Brady and his replacement can do. Brady the lone setback. Takes the snap from Padgett. He looks up the middle. Nothing doing. The Tiger defense holds true again.
We might want to call timeout here real fast if we have one.
The Tigers have got 1 timeout left. 4th down now. 4th down now and 7. 3 minutes, 6 seconds and counting. Terry Dickey stands at his own 37-yard line, and after the Tigers give up the ball on downs, their defense comes through.
Dickey's going to have to back up just a little bit, I think.
The punter for Wabash, Chad Flisby, has already had 1 block. This one he gets away cleanly, and the ball goes down to the 31-yard line.
Well, Kevin, it all gets down to 2 minutes and 44 seconds, and we're going to have to make some big plays. We have 1 timeout. And obviously, I think we're going to have to get the ball in Dickey's hands over the middle somewhere, running, doing something here. We have to score. This is not a field goal situation. We're going to have to score a touchdown. And I feel like, and I think that what we're going to do is to have to get the ball to Dickey.
Terry Dickey is the man. You heard the coach say it. He's done it for the Tigers all season long when they've needed a big play. He's lined up in the I formation behind Jason Stadler. Netherlands on the right, Broderick's on the left. Dickey gets the handoff. Avoids a couple of tacklers, but finally brought down at the 34-yard line. Jason Gallman was there again. Gallman, the big middle linebacker for the Wabash Little Giants. He's in on so many tackles. He's had such a successful season. He's over 100 tackles now for the year, and he finds the handle on Terry Dickey, who picked up 2 yards on the play. 23-18, and the clock is ticking.
If there's ever a time Goodman's going to have to start doing something, this is it. We're using too much time on that clock right now.
Goodman with the draw play, gives it to Stadler. Stadler wrestled in the backfield by Kenyatta Brame, a loss. Jason Stadler brought down for a loss on the play. The Tigers went to the draw, not successful at all. A 3-yard loss. A 3-yard loss.
We have just taken about 45 seconds off this clock. Try to run the draw play to Stadler, and of course they're putting the pass rush on, and they fill the lanes real fast, and It's one of those things where it either works or it doesn't.
It did not work that time. Makes it 3rd down and 10. It was just a 2-yard loss. Goodman has to pass. It's 3rd down and 10. The Tigers must do something here. There's only a minute 30 to go. A first down is crucial. Goodman over the middle. In a lot of traffic. It's incomplete. It's incomplete as the intended receiver on the play was the Tigers' Mark Norville. From Mount Carmel High School up in near Chicago, he is unable to get there. It's 4th down now and 10 yards to go. The Tigers have got to go for it.
Goodman has plenty of time. He has plenty of time. He's looking downfield. Probably didn't step forward enough when he threw the ball. Just a little off. It was well covered. Wabash is going to probably drop back 8 here and rush 3.
23-18 your score. There's a minute 26 to go, and the Tigers have called their last timeout. They must score a touchdown, but before they do that, they really need to get a first down. It's 4th down and 10, and with only a minute 26 to go and no timeouts, if they don't get a first down here, it's very foreseeable the Wabash could run out the rest of the game. This play is crucial.
Kevin, just a matter of fact mistake what is going on here. If we do not pick up a first down here, this game is over. Because we do not have another timeout left, and they can just run out the clock.
Brian Goodman has been talking to Coach Nick Morosis on the sideline, along with offensive coordinator, assistant to Coach Nick Morosis over there, Scott Bless. He's one of the coaches for the team. Those two have told Brian Goodman what to do, and Goodman will tell his team. This is it.
You don't want to look back and start thinking about that fumbled handoff on the 1-foot line and that field goal that hit the crossbar. And a lot of things. Big play right here, Kevin.
Goodman under center. Looks over the line of scrimmage, calls out the signals. He's back to pass. He rolls left. He throws it to Terry Dickey, and Dickey misses it. It was in his hands. He had the first down, and the ball fell out of his hands. Dickey gets up, and he's not happy.
It was a tough chance, tough chance. It was a good throw, and it was a tough catch. He had to leap. He was laid out. You're going to miss that pass more than you're going to catch it.
The Tigers unsuccessful as Brian Goodman tried to go to Terry Dickey, his money man, the guy who's been making the plays all season long. Dickey appeared to have it for a minute, but it slipped out of his hands incomplete. The Wabash offense is on the field. They've got the ball at the DePauw 32-yard line. There's 1 minute and 22 seconds to go, and anyone who's watched the DePauw football game this season knows it's not over. If you'll remember, with 4 seconds to go and a 4th down and 12 for the Tigers against Anderson earlier this season, they pulled a miracle out of thin air, and they won that football game. It's not over yet. Padgett's under center. All he has to do, though, is step on one knee. And I have a feeling there aren't going to be too many miracles going on in this football game, as Bill Padgett basically can sit on it for the rest of the time.
Well, I just hope nobody loses their poise out there. We don't want any unnecessary roughness penalties, do anything out of character. It's been a hard-fought game.
A minute 13 and counting. We're down to a minute 10. Wabash is on top 23-18 in the Monon Bell Classic. It's in the 4th quarter. DePauw was just unsuccessful on a 4th down and 10 try. Terry Dickey missed a pass from Brian Goodman. And now all Wabash has to do is run the clock out. DePauw has no timeouts left. Wabash has 3. And Padgett does it again. Things just did not go the Tigers' way in this football game, as they had a few mistakes in the early going that cost them. And they're now thinking about those mistakes right now, which is something that you just do not want to have to do. You never want to have to regret anything you've done. Wabash, by virtue of those mistakes, is on top by 5 points. And with that snap, the clock will run out. We've got a whistle on the play. That's going to stop the clock, I think. That is going to stop the clock with 13 seconds to go. Unnecessary roughness, I believe, will be the call. We'll get the official indication. You see the time in the corner of the picture at 13.7 seconds to go. The Wabash student body is lined the opposite side of the field, prepared for a celebration here after the completion of this football game. It's 4th down right now. You know what that penalty does, though? Well, that doesn't do what I thought it would do. It gives Wabash a first down. So with that first down, that makes it virtually impossible, because had it been fourth down and Wabash would have stepped on one knee, the Tigers still would have had a few more seconds left. With the penalty that gives Wabash the first down, there's nothing DePauw can do now. The Tigers down 23-18, Coach. First down and 10 at the Tiger 20.
They're going to start the clock anyway. This is it. They will not have to have another snap. The game is over, Kevin.
The Tigers have been beaten by the Wabash Little Giants. As the clock runs down, the final score is 23-18. The Tigers lose the bell. Wabash wins it for the first time in 4 years. Bret Baier's on the sideline along with Sidra Arnold. Let's go down to those two.
Wabash students come to try and get the bell. They're taking it back to Crawfordsville. It's a tough-fought battle. Better luck next year, right, Sidra?
Right. There's always next year, and we'll come out fighting.
Thanks for watching.
See ya.
Back to you, Kevin.
Up here in the booth, we've got a bird's eye view of all the Wabash student body crowding around the bell. They're trying to take it back. There is security surrounding the bell, and they're not allowing them to get to it just yet. It's 23-18 was your final score. As we roll the credits from this broadcast, it was an amazing football game. It was an amazing football game. The Tigers just made a few too many mistakes. For Coach Ted Katula, along with Bret Baier and Sidra Arnold on the sideline, I'm Kevin Eskew saying so long, everybody.
Stories they still tell, the cavemen and the tigers playing for her bill. It rode like a masthead on engine 99. Crawfordsville, the Greencastle, then further down the line. The cavemen came from Wabash and the Tigers from DePauw. Since 1890 they have played the last game every fall. Many years they played for pride.